What's going on, everybody? Striker is back from my weekend-long trip, and ready to catch up on some bounties. So I need to enter. Ooh, look at this! This is nice and bright over here. Who's glowing and everything? Someone, face killer, and can I click the other one? Oh, and Krong's in here. Interesting, running with the Frosty Delight. Interesting, yes indeed. So let's engineer, let's just engineer some arrows, so that we can get this one done. What's up, chat? So I think this will be my first bounty of the week, level 3 bounty. I played a little bit last night, so I made sure to get some of the monster slaying out of the way. Hey, we got a new friend request in the house. Sought 2905. Hey. So 70 items to engineer. And then we'll take a look at what the next best bounty to do is. Slitton's in the house. You legit only need a Stampeder and armor for one-shot mobs. I wonder what dungeon that is. I mean, we're talking about the Stampeder, so it's probably going to be a blue dungeon. Oh, I got some extra Wheels of Wonder to burn. Until the reset, at least. I still don't know how to do that. Never left, baby, never left. So now everyone wants to pop up. Alright, let's do another round here. I think I have enough sticks. Did I see something frozen on my screen? Did I see like the tavern? I mean the tavern, the Emporium was like frozen? I think all my loadouts from this most recent patch bugged out, so I'm probably going to have to redo my loadouts. Hope you guys are doing good. Getting your bounties done. Anyone got the game crash? So I actually haven't experienced any crashing. I would say over the past like 4 days, like right before I left for my trip, and then right since I got back, because I played a little bit yesterday. Try lowering the resolution. You're playing on low graphics. I mean, I'm running at 60 frames, but I mean, I guess my PC is definitely not a potato. Playing in the morning and it works fine. Kappa 1987, 1 year younger than me. You are in windowed or full screen mode. I need to get a newer display. I mean, I don't need to, but I would like to get a newer display and go past 60 frames because I'm locked at 60. Windowed at 1912. That sounds like a PC. I mean a laptop. Okay. Should definitely take a look at the Emporium. See if there's anything there that has been trending lately. So let's see, it's 4 right now. Should probably spin the wheels at the end of this stream. before 7 o'clock. So that I can get the next round in. Interesting. It looks like Bellinger put out some kind of post about NFTs are dead. If only I had a nickel every time I heard that. Tim Lowin, what's going on, Tim? How you doing? Jumping in on YouTube. Been chilling lately? Playing a little Lost Relics? What have you been gaming, my friend? Pretty much been just going back and forth between Dota and Lost Relics. Okay, this should be the last one. And where are we on the stats here? Get out of this screen. Let's see where we are. Well, nothing really to level up at this moment. Nothing big. I definitely need to check on the price of coal. Well, let's do that while I'm engineering these. Kill two birds with one stone. Alright. How is coal doing? It's not letting me select it while I'm crafting here. I gotta turn in an odadium sickle with 2 sapphires. 6 slithers. Okay, not too bad. Not too bad. That's probably why I chose it. More than halfway to that level 99. Haven't played yet? You're just watching the streams? Yeah. So they got the new patch that came out about 2 weeks ago. That might be a little bit pushing it. Let's see, requirements. This one. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, interesting. So if you hit control, it automatically equips it. But if you hit shift, it automatically fills it out in your loadout. Okay, cool. Now I know that. Didn't know that before. Okay, let's turn these in. How much are these? 1,000? Yeah, pretty cheap. I'm actually surprised these are at 400. Well, I guess... Yeah, I am kind of surprised they're at 400. Alright, there we go. Bounty number 1 of the week done. There's my gold chest. Let's see, what can we do now? Hell sprouts. Don't really want to do those if we can avoid it. Wisps, maybe, but I have to turn in 2 blues. This one's good. Yeah, this one's real good. Fire strike and bushes. I mean, is there something simpler I can get at a higher health sprouts? Elites, I can go into mount. That should be pretty quick. Actually, this one would be better. Let's go get the elites. Hood goblins will be fast too. This one's a good one. Wretches, I kind of want to avoid the wretches. Save that for the end if I have time. Same for those. Skeletors, same. Wretchlers, Bandors. Where are the Bandors at? Interesting. Okay, so let's go do the elites. So we're gonna go to mounts. There's like a ton of elites and mounts. Okay, so if we're gonna go to mount, let's change this up. Let's go with relics. Here, give me the blue gram instead. Let's take some consumables. So I think the way, and I haven't been watching too many people's streams lately, so I haven't really been seeing how people have been adjusting to the meta. But like right now what I'm doing is I'm taking 2 peach foil potions. It looks like they did nerf it. I heard people talking about over 10 seconds. I don't think that's bad considering this is over how many seconds? It doesn't actually say over how many seconds. I would guess 5 seconds. And this kind of provides double in terms of the health. I mean, I'm sorry, in terms of the regen, than compared to the harvester. So pretty much I'll take the peach oil potions, and I guess I'm gonna try this out right now. So I'm gonna take these extra consumables that I don't really need, but I'm gonna take them so that if for whatever reason I end a mount run, to rather than having to wait the time with the new global system, I'll go ahead and pop one of these. I don't mind using these. I don't know why. I just see them as more valuable. If I use them outside of the dungeon to like immediately go back in. So let's say I do 2 mounts, and then I come out of the second mount with like very low, you know, I'll pop them both, be back at full, and go back in and continue the bounty. I think that's probably the best value you're gonna get out of them. There's no elites anywhere else, right? I don't think there should be, at least not in the transcendent level. Alright, so let's go in. Let's go on in. Run number 1 for the day. That was a really bad shot. Getting the warm-ups. Hunting all the spawners, baby. Hunting all the spawners. Okay. I took too much damage there. I got greedy going for that second spawner. Did people make comments about how that they feel like some of these enemies got some nerfs to them? Hey, what's that? Ooh, ingot left. I like those ingots. Oh yeah, these Mordums, like, yeah, they can really be chipping away at your health if you're not paying attention. Be careful with those bad boys. You can't even see me walk up to him. Oh, there was one hidden right there. Right in that monster closet. Come on, stop running. You're not going to stop running. Okay, let me jump on. Let me go ahead and get this YouTube video started here so we can go ahead and give some feedback here on, let's see, here it is. Let's see what we got here. Make sure the audio's coming out good.
Welcome back, everyone. So, in the whole space of Web3 gaming, the future of games, and play to earn, and all of these ghastly things that are probably going to be very bad for the quality of the games that we actually play, we have an interesting bit of news.
Okay, so let me actually start off by saying, obviously he's biased against gatekeeping against NFT and Web3 gaming. So we're going to pretty much be listening over to this video with Bellinger, go over his thoughts on NFTs, the problems that he has or that he sees or whatnot. And then I'll give you my feedback from being a crypto gamer in general, traditional gamer as well. I mean, I'm playing everything, to be quite honest. The wife is the wife doesn't get too happy sometimes, but no, it's all good. I'll go ahead and give you my feedback. We'll stop somewhere along the lines while we grind out these dungeons, and we'll move forward from there. So hope you all enjoy. Feel free to go ahead and post any questions while we go through this little bit of commentary in the background, and we'll see about addressing them as we go. Let's get this started.
In that the broader crypto market is obviously in a bit of a spot right now. Coinbase, yeah, was it gold? Anyway, they're like rating their stock was sell, which I also thought was quite interesting. They've had some job layoffs. We've seen quite a lot of that in in parts of that sector. And we now got a report from Bloomberg about some other things that show a humongous decline in basically the volume of the NFT market. And this is a thing that is actually quite important because a lot of this stuff is at the core of Web3 gaming, which is where a lot of games companies are going. Epic Games have got, is it Gala Games, who are doing great. They've got a Web3 game coming onto their platform. It itself, as we covered in a previous video, has got a fair few embarrassments. Today, though, we've also got a very, very, very funny scam.
Yeah, which I think is like...
It's stupid.
Yeah, at the core of it, what we'll talk about a little bit later is literally just, this is why no one wants any of this shit. And this is why it was such a toxic, tainted market.
First off, let's make sure to put some things in perspective.
Effectively speaking. But that's where it's like,
so
you look at all
crypto
of
gaming. Let's see. First off, crypto gaming's in its infancy, right? Like, this entire thing basically recently got started. I mean, we've had a couple years where experiments were happening. Axie Infinity was really the first one to like bring it into fruition for other people to be able to see as like a potential model. But to say that, to make those comments is just completely unfounded, saying that why nobody wants this stuff. There's obviously a huge growing audience for it. And it just continues to grow in terms of players. You know, right now, you know, their comments about the market are correct. I mean, the crypto market has taken a big hit, but so has every other market around the world. And you know why? It's because we've had a major hit with the, Russian-Ukraine war and with the global financial system and all this money printing that was done to help countries overcome COVID. So there's, these same events actually also affect the video game industry. I bet you if you were going to go look at some of those numbers, you would be seeing a reduction in terms of the number of gamers that were playing in 2020 versus now, obviously because of COVID. So it applies to everything. It's not directly related to one sector. That doesn't make sense to actually say. So yeah, so just a few corrections there. Malachi jumping on in. Welcome back. Yeah, man, doing good from the trip. Everything went well, got back safely, and good to go moving forward. So we're just listening here a little bit to some Bellinger news. Bellular news, I should say. Bellinger, I'm thinking about the baseball player coming back from the show. So we're just going over it. Obviously, they're not big fans of NFTs, crypto, or gaming in general. But they obviously do have a big voice in terms of the content creators amongst video games. So I'm going to go ahead and be listening to them and giving feedback here on what they say and what their thoughts are, to kind of give some perspective, because they obviously don't have very much perspective on the show. Here we go.
All of the gaming companies that were like, this is the future, NFT is the future, we're going to make Ubisoft ports. Square Enix's president's going to talk to investors about how this is like big time, the blockchain is the future for us, the future for so many things, and that's been dramatic in a couple different ways. But then you look at the well, good news, because all of that blustering's just falling apart.
Yeah.
In front of us.
So
most of it anyway.
To be honest, if you just have a little bit of a hunger, a little bit of an appetite for kind of laughing at the numbers going down, at the very least you'll find today's video enjoyable. Now, to seamlessly do a quick bit of self-promo,
numbers,
as you know, we're
so
also
funny.
developing a game, but you may not know, the other thing that our game team does is contribute.
You're going to be lurking
to
and
our
listening, baby.
Patreon,
That's what I
where
like to
they
hear.
Build really awesome physical merch that we do every month. So if you'd like, we're sort of theming off this.
I think it's so funny how they started to distinguish between we do physical merch, none of this like digital merchandise, even though they literally play video games and that's the job that they're doing.
And potentially we'll do some more stuff with. So if you'd like to check out the Patreon, perhaps get yourself some sweet loot, you can check out the links down in the description. And with the self promo done, Matt.
How are my audio
let's talk
levels,
a little
guys?
bit
Are we doing
about
okay
Bloomberg's
there?
report. So the crypto niche is now getting its first month with under 1 billion USD in sales. First month of that since
I
June
think that's, I mean, that right there just says everything, right? So like, crypto games, Web3 games are like a brand new growing market, and they start by saying that the market is dying. They start the podcast off by saying that the market's dying, but then they lead with their first statistic being that for the first time it fell below 1 billion in sales. Like, so I mean, if you have 1 billion in monthly sales, like I don't know how you can consider that dying since everything just got started, but okay.
According to DappRadar, who track data. And for another one, on OpenSea, which you'll probably have heard, it's the largest NFT marketplace in the world, the sales volume has went down by 75% since May.
That's over most of it.
Yeah, and I believe it was also down from its...
Yeah, we've had a crypto crash and a stock market
and
Nasdaq correction.
To be scraping
like, of
its
course.
lowest level since July 2021.
Craze is over.
Wait, NFTs has been a lot. Craze is over. NFTs have been around since longer than 2021, and we're just talking about after the boom, it's gone down.
Real world sort of value in some of this stuff.
Oh wait. Okay.
I will explain that. But
okay, so yeah. See,
this
is exactly how people are going to start to turn. Like, over the course of time, many projects are going to come out, and many are going to fail, and that's the way that business development happens. As the businesses roll out and certain projects become successful, they will be the key cornerstones for other projects to be able to build off of. So, I mean, you're going to start to see people saying like, oh, all this other crypto stuff is a scam. This one thing I like, but all the rest of it is a scam. And you can already start to hear them. Bellular starts saying that here. Like, what did he just say? He can understand that some of these do have value. Let's see. Coco's jumping on in. I can bring in better relics.
Form of real world sort of value in some of this stuff.
So there is real world value.
I lost my mind. I will explain that.
In some of this stuff. That's exactly how it's going to happen.
Prices so far beyond that. So
that's true.
What the actual value of these could be, like imagine your concert tickets are sort of sold via an NFT, and then because you have that NFT, you can get a bunch of additional perks because you have the NFT. Now that's not really quality being delivered to you by the NFT, it's just the NFT being used as the, I suppose, the technical implementation of, whatever reward or membership thing that you're getting. So
like, I guess the technical implementation is not worth anything? That is literally the value added here. I mean, because they started the podcast by talking about how don't worry guys, we have physical t-shirts. Well, those physical t-shirts don't have the medium to be able to provide a breakdown of all the people that are supposed to get rewards. You can't do that with physical media. Like, you can do that with this new technology. That is the inherent value. But so in other words, what they're saying is, oh, it can only do this. It's just doing this one extra thing. Well, that one extra thing is extremely valuable.
The idea of sort of NFTs that come with perks if you are the holder of the NFT, that's one of the ways they've been trying to put a little bit more value in that.
Yep.
To a lot of people, though, it seems dubious, and it's also like, well, yeah, but this doesn't need to be on the chain.
Why doesn't it need to be on the chain?
You can do membership and sell your, membership card to somebody else.
Yeah, of course. You can do memberships. There's been memberships for a long time. The idea here is not that memberships are brand new. The idea that a rewards-based perk system for your customers, that is not new. What is new is that now you can track who exactly is part of that ownership of that group, who, when, where, why. You can reference all of that information on the blockchain, which you can't do in the current system. You have to have a customer go in and update their information. Now it's done for you. It's reliable, proven. That is the inherent value. So no, the idea of a membership isn't what's new. The idea of how you can actually reference the blockchain is the new and is the value add.
Other thing, it doesn't need to be blockchain. And it's not like it being blockchain decentralized means that it's completely free of scams or bullshit or anything.
Yeah, but no one. I mean, look at all the memberships in the real world that don't have that are scams.
We can't do a cartoon, or Axie Infinity, where security vulnerabilities and their implementation leads to a mass scale, I suppose, fraud, a mass scale theft.
I mean, first off, okay, if we're going to be talking about the Axie Infinity theft. first off, that was a government organized attack, or at least that is the current leading rumor amongst analysts, is that the North Korea and their hackers were the ones personally involved in that attack. Okay, if you have a state-sponsored attack on any system, I'm more than positive there's going to be damage. Okay, so let's not talk about the fact that they had vulnerabilities. The fact is that there was value there to be taken, and a huge state-organized team attacked it. Like, yes, there could have been better security, and this will lead to better security in the future. But like these things are already happening, and it's just, I don't know. I don't give it much credence that they're blaming all projects on a state-sponsored attack. But okay.
Of those assets, I think all of these things have certainly served to cool down the market. Now, meanwhile, the JPG NFT index, which tracks a handful of blue chip NFT projects, that's actually down by 70% since its inception in April. That's pretty rough. So with all of this stuff tanking, and it's been tanking for multiple reasons, one of them though is the Terra blockchain. Basically, it's a collapsed stablecoin project, which
the fact that they're familiar with that is interesting.
Ended up in a really bad situation from that. And then possible insolvency at the lender Celsius Network and Babel Finance, as well as the hedge fund 3 Arrows Capital. Basically, investors have begun to shun some of these crypto projects because there are now so many high-profile just failures, scams, markets completely collapsing. I mean, imagine investing all that money into Axie Infinity, and then almost instantly,
I mean,
goes the value of that.
I think. Hold on. I think. Let me just go take a look at this really quick. I'm going to CoinGecko right now. Let's just see what the. Oh, am I gonna have problems with it? What about CoinMarketCap? There we go. Let's see what the total value of AXS in supply is right now. Total value of AXS. Estimated around full market cap 1 billion right now. 1 billion in AXS. So like, if you're still trying to tell me that it's worth nothing, well, there's $1 billion right there in a down market. Now, granted, we're going to have some more issues where people are going to withdraw, and who knows, maybe things are going to go a lot further down. Even if it were to get cut in half from here, 500 million, you're going to tell me that's not valuable? Okay.
The coin. Now here is a quote from a researcher whose job literally is to go deep into this stuff. And they say, without question, the NFT market has fallen off the cliff this June. While the market is way more mature, it's fair to say that in recent weeks, investors are looking for safer places to put their money amid the Terra collapse and rumors surrounding potential liquidations. So that's rough. And then what's interesting is that even though that stuff is happening, there have been a few high-profile events. eBay have went to purchase an NFT marketplace. Uniswap
Yeah.
Labs
So like, what is that telling you guys? Like, what it's telling you is that this when they're about to comment and go over all of the acquisitions, mergers and acquisitions, or like the continued development of the space. So like, if we've had a huge market crash and people are still choosing to invest and build out the future of what this is going to be, doesn't that tell you something? Does it, like, I mean, unless you think all of these companies are crazy, which maybe you do, maybe he does, but like, there's something to be said that you're not paying attention to, that people are choosing to make these choices during down markets. What does that tell you? That tells you that people believe there's future growth ahead.
Purchased a marketplace aggregator, and then there was a whole NFT.NYC conference and the Bored Apes Ape Fest. Woo! The Ape Fest. How exciting. But of course those things have not rallied investor enthusiasm. So essentially, we all talk for a bit about number go up, people make money. Now, number go down, people lose money.
Yeah, that's the natural state of the world. That's been happening for hundreds of years. I was about to say billions of years.
Walk towards NFTs. No, the opposite. It could slow down the games industry moving towards the NFTs. maybe cause them to rethink things. Because a lot of these comments from like Square Enix guy and a few of the other ones, they were really amidst this stuff going totally bonkers. Like we were seeing Bored Apes go for insane.
I mean, if you want to take a bet that you think it's going to slow down, I'll take the opposite of that bet right now.
Ubisoft were talking about quartz and all of that, and like with quartz, that stuff got well, you know, the game, the quartz was being tested on Breakpoint. It's got wound down. Yeah. We know the developers at Ubisoft were very much against this project, and now.
Well, of course, this project they first off, they put NFTs into a project that was failing. They did that because there was less risk. If it failed, they didn't have to worry about it. If it succeeded, great. They turned something that was failing into a success. If you were a business and you were about to risk your IP with implementing new NFTs, like, wouldn't you do it on the thing that, hey, if we don't pull this off, we didn't risk our biggest project? Like, I wouldn't be putting it on Assassin's Creed and taking full risk with it. I'd be putting it on a game that's losing players base by the day. And if it works and it keeps players around, then great, huge success. If it doesn't, then no harm, no foul. The game was gonna die soon anyway. Like, what are you talking about? This is just educated. This is educated risk taking. That's all that is.
How the sort of
Graph, what's up, brother?
Like, this can only be a good thing for people who don't want this kind of thing to get into games.
Yeah, sure,
so
you're right. It could be a good thing for those people.
Like,
but like, what does that matter?
This, so that means like the technical implementations and the kind of like the cool things that the tech had could, you know.
See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. The cool things. So like, there's some things that are valuable. There's some things that are cool.
This will make us money, do it. And now that doesn't look like it's going to make them all of the infinite money in the universe. So that just kind of kills it completely at the top.
Yeah.
Because that was like the entire reason was the money. Everything else was a smoke screen.
Guys,
we need to kind of sell this to people, even though we just want the money, and now the money's gone. So if NFTs are going to like actually.
Guys, let me just tell you something right now. The video games industry is one of the largest business industries in the world. It's all about the money. It's always been all about the money. Okay? Now, we have indie video game or independent developers that are doing it for the passion. You can barely hear them. You want me to I'll turn up the volume a little bit. So we're watching right now Bellular News covering NFTs, a recent thing that they posted a few days ago about the NFTs are finally dying, and I'm just pretty much going over it and like criticizing it and pretty much saying like, hey, you're only talking one side of the story here, guys. So much you're missing. But yeah, I'll turn it up a little bit so we can see if you can hear it. But yeah, I mean, like, going back to the idea here, like the video game industry is just like any other industry. We have indie movie makers, we have indie recording artists, and we have the big AAA publishing deals, the huge, movie productions, everything. Like, it works across the board, okay? And money is always playing a part, You were watching Choco Taco's stream about a few months ago saying that why people were buying NFTs, that they're so dumb, and at the same time they're buying pub skins. Like, the thing is that, like, people don't understand it, and you're always afraid of what you don't understand. Like, there's a lot of great points too that they're bringing up. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of scams, as there is with all new technology. Okay, when LimeWire was letting you, or Napster was letting you download music, guess what? You were downloading a bunch of wonky shit that you should not have had on your PC. You were downloading viruses. You were downloading, like, this is just the natural progression of technology. And video games have been at the forefront of this development, and it's going to continue to be. The industry is that big and that dominant, So I don't know. I think it's crazy. But, I get it why people can't see it. I understand. But it's just one of those things that's going to take time and get built out over time with all the failures and successes. And yes, there will be more failures than there will be successes. That is the nature of a developing industry.
To continue, they will just be in a different form, or be like actually kind of developers will have ideas for them, as opposed to money people forcing them down the throat.
And I think for some examples here, like, in spite of Ubisoft having a record of 15 sales, 15 sales, man. by December of 2021, they've basically not really mentioned Ubisoft Quartz. That was actually not even mentioned in their financial year 2021 results.
I mean, look, what they're pretty much saying is that if Ubisoft can't do it, no one can. That's what that argument is. 15 sales, they're saying like it's dead, it doesn't exist. Dude, go look at Axie's sales. Go look at Lost Relics sales. That's more than 15. That doesn't, like, Ubisoft isn't because they're the first ones moving in the AAA space, they're not the whole universe. Aye.
As for Square Enix, in their financial year 2022-23 results, there's like one mention of NFTs. So basically, it's once, and it's in relation to the divesting of the North American assets and IPs, where they reveal that rather than using the proceeds of the divestiture in new investment domains such as NFT and blockchain, they're basically instead funding solid IP and enhancing their development capabilities. So that's them saying, right, okay, we don't have these Western studios that basically aren't making ROI. What are we going to do with all this money we freed up? Not that. We're actually going to do the core thing that's our business. And that is a good sign for us. Because imagine a world where Ubisoft Quartz was the most exciting, crazy thing, and it did super well. People bought them all. And
Okay,
then,
I'll imagine that
rather than move that money back into core development, they're moving some of that into R&D groups and into, you know, the production teams to actually build the assets that get to be NFTs across multiple Square Enix games.
Well, so the problem is that that is video game development. You're literally talking about the problem is you're going to put it into research and development, into making new products and stuff, and not into video games. Well, guess what? Those products are going into video games. It is video game development. You know, now if it's not the video games that you want, oh, this is bad. I got swamped, and I'm out of regen, and I didn't drop my blue gram. If it's not the video games that you want, guess what? There's way more, there's billions more gamers in the world that want different things than you do. And actually, probably that's one of the things that I was thinking about when I was reading that Ubisoft press conference, was that, man, I got really low there. Was that the divestiture, like them selling their Western studios, I actually think might be, I mean, there's no evidence for this, this is just the speculation, but I actually think it might be a comment about like the Western video game audience. You know, if they truly believe that Web3 gaming is going to be the future, and from all of the countries around the world and the gamer populations that have been accepting it, you know, it's been happening more in South Korea. It's been happening more in the Philippines. It's been happening more in, you know, Southeast Asian countries. You know, so yeah, it hasn't been as big in the United States in Western society compared to those regions. So I think that might actually be saying something about that, you know. And if you go look at the numbers in terms of like total video game sales, income, and player base, like Southeast Asia is dominating the market, not Western audiences anymore. It is what it is. The numbers don't lie.
So that they can then have a, you know, inter-game, like almost, you know, metaverse-esque thing.
So
right?
if it's inter-game, isn't it part of the game?
Blizzard put hats. They make hats that are NFTs, and you can wear the hat in Diablo, Warcraft, or Overwatch.
Yeah, we already have hats, of course.
Play to earn thing with Warcraft Gold into the WoW, right?
Of course.
Instead of going down that horrible dark future,
they're already
we're
doing
now
that.
seeing less of that. Now, no doubt, they're retreating and they're thinking about their next steps. But I think while that market seems to be a losing thing that doesn't have investor confidence, they maybe aren't going to be as public about it. Because I think if investors are really hungry for Web3 and being seen to have a really good claim in the Web3 space is going to be important for investors' views of, like, you know, potential future company results. Here's like a really good example. If you have, like, you know, let's just say a company like Tesla, and it's like, okay, there's some investors that they're really excited about the Tesla bot, they're really excited about the Cybertruck and stuff, and because of the future hype that you know, Tesla are going to have a car that is in the same slice of the market as the humongously selling Ford F-150, then the investors are going to be like, oh, sweet, that'll be nice in the future. And it's a little bit like that here. A lot of investors will think, oh, Square Enix, wow, look at that. They've got one of the most successful MMOs ever, and they're going to try to integrate that with this new emerging market. This is going to be... But now investors are going to be less hyped about that sort of thing. So they've got less of a reason to focus on it.
Yeah, and
good.
that's the thing I think is really like, if you want to have a really good takeaway from this, 'cause
I don't
obviously
even
think
I
people
don't
will
even
hate
understand what the
NFTs
guy's
and
trying to
ban and
say here.
celebrate anyway, unless they own one, which case your problem. Sorry, but the thing is, like, all of this Web3, all of this blockchain was wrapped up in one big ball. It was this one big ball of just, we don't want any of this near any of our games because this isn't going to help us at all. And now, the only part of that that's like really kind of dying visibly is the NFTs. All of like, well, the crypto obviously as well, but like, this doesn't literally necessarily impact all of the play to earn stuff that people are trying to push in and all of those core ideas. But it does, as you say, it does kind of poison that well for investors.
Yeah.
Which means all of that stuff is going to have to be taken at a slower rate, kind of snuck in, and there won't be
So
people
what you're
funding
saying
it.
is that it's slowing down? You're like, okay, let it slow down. That doesn't mean it's stopping. What are you talking about? You know, what are you...
There will be all of that will probably be slowed down by the very nature of almost like guilt by association of people go, oh, should we invest in big play to earn things? Wasn't that something to do with NFTs? And NFTs are dead? Maybe we shouldn't.
And also,
Hopefully.
they look at Ethereum, they look at Bitcoin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
They look at
exactly
all
what the
that stuff.
president
Now, there's one thing I will say.
of these
So I
major
believe
organizations
Ethereum
is
moving
thinking.
over to proof of stake vaguely soon. I know the Displate have an NFT project that they're doing, but they have, because Displate have always marketed planting trees and stuff like that with their purchases and the sort of environmentally friendly aspect of things. They basically said that they are delaying their NFT thing until the Ethereum chain is on proof of stake. Now,
Well,
proof
there's
of
already
stake
other
and
plenty
proof
of chains that
work
are proof of
are
stake.
very different things. Basically, what you need to know is
See,
that
they're
whenever
learning,
people
guys.
talk about the environmental impacts of of NFTs, that's when you're on a proof of work blockchain. And that basically means that there is
Welcome
very
to the show,
expensive,
baby.
power-hungry maths that has to happen to make shit tick, right? When it's on proof of stake, then the environmental concern essentially goes away. So if you are still concerned about the environmental side of proof of stake chain, then, you know, if you're watching Netflix, you should probably stop. Right?
Which you're not.
Kind of a bit more down to that level of things. Now, of course, there's always going to be just the suspicion of, okay, is this just financial asset tomfoolery to try to get more money for your investors? That's how it'll feel to people. But perhaps perhaps there'll be a little bit more interest in the market once it is moved over to proof of stake. I know that one side of investing is the kind of the more green side. That is something that there is some interest in. So perhaps that could change things up. I can't really call it though because I'm not really a specialist in the area. That said, one thing we do know
You're not
is
a
the
specialist in
scams
the
will
area,
continue.
but you
And
can
we've
do a
got
whole
really funny
podcast
one
saying
here
that it's dead.
where
Okay.
some people have made W3itch.io, so Web3itch.io. Now you might think, what? A Web3 project from Itch? That's not what I thought they would do.
Not at all.
And you're right, because they didn't. This is, a collection of some of the most unique, interesting, and independent creations you'll find in the web. We're not your typical storefront with a wide range of both paid and free content. We encourage you to look around. Unlike Itch, W3Itch focuses on putting status of, quote, Web3 technology into production-level services. Okay, so basically here's the deal.
Someone
They ganked
copied.
Itch.
Yeah, they just copied it.
It's a grift.
Pure grift.
It's just a big grifty scam bullshit, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, it may not literally be a scam, but if you're basically calling it Web3 Itch, knowing that Itch exists, like...
So is it a
you're
scam or not a
doing
scam? What are you
tomfoolery.
talking about?
So, Lee Corcoran, who's the founder of Itch.io, they've been posting about the issue. It's quite insane. Also, can you not rip off Itch.io? The site you have is pretty shady. To which they responded, we are really sorry about used Itch.io CSS files, but we are really short of designer. And if you check in detail, the supporter project types and features are very different between us, and they are two different public goods. We will try to make distinction in UI in future. This is theft! It appears the majority of the projects on your platform are stolen from RPGmaker.net with no apparent consent.
Yep.
I love it.
Oh, it's great.
The
I
idea
mean, but
of
what's the
someone
difference?
just
I
going,
mean,
we're
scams
sorry
exist.
we stole,
Now,
but
you
we couldn't
see-
make it ourselves. So I guess we're morally fine to just steal your stuff because we didn't have it. We couldn't make it ourselves.
People here can see the difference, right, on my screen, and it's like,
I don't know. I can't see the difference basically.
well, we can play female
It's a scam,
soldier
but with an
struggle, the
interesting
forgotten
idea. I
girl,
mean-
backstage.
The idea here being that indie-based development for Web3 games is going to be its own thing, which makes complete sense. Like I was saying earlier about like the risks that AAA companies are going to have to take. Like they're going to take much more risk, and who's suitable to take those risks? Small business owners, independent developers. They're the ones that are able to operate and move slowly and flexible and be flexible throughout this entire changing system. I guess I missed a path over there. That sucks. But yeah.
Saphric Blue.
Yeah, I'm watching Bellular right now, and he did a video about it's titled "Gaming Saved?" NFTs are finally dying, which that video's not gonna end. That's not gonna last or stand the test of time, I should say.
And Halo World.
Nice.
There you go. There's 162 games on web3.itch.io, and funny enough, it does look pretty similar to itch.io.
Yeah, it's a scam.
Oh, I wonder. They're
I
barely changing words on the site. Like it is just like theft, basically.
Yeah, it is just, hey, we'll use the fact that crypto is like this thing where we can kind of get away with just raw theft, I guess, because obviously
This has
we've seen
nothing to
that
do with
before, where
crypto.
people have, like,
There's no
wallets,
crypto.
and they're like, well,
They haven't mentioned crypto being implemented in anything. They're using Web3 games. Like, what's a scam? Someone like it sounds like somebody ripped off itch.io. They made they made their own website and they called it itch.io, and itch is like a development platform for independent video game developers to publish their content. But like they did the like .io, and they're doing like this is for crypto games or whatever. And it probably is just a big scam or whatever, because they're like they copied the same logos or the same the same web content as itch. And are using that, right? So, I mean, I don't know. It's just someone just copying another website and renaming it. Or it'd be like if I made like Yahoo.io is what they're doing here, right? But it's not really Yahoo. It's me, so.
we can't trace that money. It's decentralized. It's gone. We can't do anything about it. So it's like, I guess they're kind of maybe trying to do the same thing here, where they'll kind of get the whole thing of, hey, we've got this whole big Web3. Wouldn't you love to play Web3 indie games? I just, I think it is literally just, no, you can give me, the owner of W3 Itch, crypto, and I'll give you RPG Maker games that are available for free. Okay, that sounds like a great deal.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Rats.
So now that we've taken a look at that Rats game, what is next? Well, basically, it's cooling down, but there are projects in the works. We recently on the channel talked about Grit, which is on Epic Games. Of course, that's where you have a big distinction between Epic and Steam. Steam have just said, nope,
No, sir.
ain't doing this. We will take your... I actually can't say the name, but, a decently well-known dude from the 1940s who did a lot of very awful things. That was born in Austria and became the leader of another nation. You might know the one. On Steam, you can get him as a furry in a dating sim, and it's all like weird sex stuff. Like that's on Steam because of their new, basically,
whatever
adult stuff. Okay, let's go.
Do whatever you want.
Okay.
So they'll let you have that, but they're saying no to NFT stuff and the Web3 games. Is quite
so
funny.
stupid.
Whereas
why do you think they're saying no to it? I mean, it's obviously at the same, in the same type of caliber here. I mean, not caliber. I'm sorry. It's obvious. I mean, do some like legitimate thinking here. Do you think that the reason why they allowed the furry sex game or whatever? Do you think that's the same reason why they don't allow NFTs? No, there's legal ramifications here to a growing technology that hasn't been regulated in a lot of different countries that Steam operates in. Come on, come on. Seriously, guys? Like, I don't know. It just sounds like a bunch of... let me survive this. Hold on. We gotta kill all of these guys. a lot, actually. How did I get so many enemies around me? Where'd they all come from? I guess I've gotten comfortable enough with Mount Elkep to where I can turn my brain off now and just react, but... Okay, so let's keep going here.
I think for Epic, they are going to allow this technology because they're not going to ban the technology in principle.
Oh, yeah. That's what I want to talk about. So, like, they're not going to ban... So, like, first off, whatever he's about to say about Epic, it also applies to Steam. So, like, if Epic isn't going to ban the technology in principle, then why would Steam ban it in principle? The thing is that, like, you get into this prisoner's dilemma type of situation, economic situation, where it's... If one platform allows crypto to be sold on their website, then inherently all the other platforms are now pressured more to allow it, because if this is a growing genre, or this is a growing niche, a new business segment, and it succeeds, then that platform that allowed it would have market control of the entire system. So Valve is incentivized. So the more that Epic allows crypto games, Web3 games to be on their platform, the more incentivized that Steam is going to allow it, PlayStation's going to allow it, Xbox is going to allow it, because if they don't and they're wrong, now Epic all of a sudden is the #1 dominating platform that will could consume them. And for them, allowing 1, 2, 3 games, whatever it is, as a test pilot into their new system is a far less risk than losing a market share to any of their biggest competitors. And that's the problem. Like, the problem is that, like, market forces incentivize these other platforms to allow it to happen, and they're just not realizing it. It's the same thing with the same logic with El Salvador and Bitcoin. Like, when they started to take it as and hold it as reserves, now other countries, and like I said, it always starts with the smallest. It starts with the people and the groups that have the most to lose. They're the ones that are most willing to take higher risk. And that's the same thing here.
They are very aware of the correlation with scam projects and stuff, because Jim Sweeney has talked about that in the past. So we're going to see this stuff continue. Perhaps it's going to cool down.
Yeah, I thought it was finally dying. How are we going to see it continue?
There you go, Finn. I've ran out of idea juice. No more.
NFTs are... Sorry, let's get the quote right. NFTs fell off the cliff in June. God bless.
There we go. Yeah, that's it. So that's it for us. Of course,
Games are
June.
saved.
if you would like to buy some of our art, which is not in the form of a non-fungible token, it is in fact in the form of a card that will go to you physically, in addition to another card and a pin from our game development team.
How are they going to attract rewards?
Then
and members benefits.
Of course, there's also the video game that we were making. The
Oh, it
Beyond,
doesn't have any of that. I
is,
guess it's less
scheduled for
valuable,
release
right?
in 2022, and there's as every day passes, less of 2022 left, so we are getting closer. Anyway, that's it for us. Have a great day. Goodbye.
That pretty much wraps up their video. Let me see. Maybe I can find something else here that we can go ahead and put on. Houston Gamer. Uh-oh. Hold on. Kill these guys. Wasn't paying attention for a second there. But you know, it's funny because like go back and listen to what they were saying again, and it's the same. And like you hit the key phrases there of anybody. Like first off, anybody that's getting involved in crypto at a serious level, other than just like doing it because a friend told them to. Like anyone that's actually like looking into it, putting in hours of research. If you're putting in a few hours of research at a minimum to understand what the heck this stuff is, everyone starts with saying this can't work. This is impossible. This will not work. It does not make sense. And then after the research, after you've learned, then you come back and you say, that's when the light bulb moments come. So and it always happens in a very slow little way. Like, so if we were to comment on these guys, like go back and listen to the video 3 or 4 times, we heard stuff like, oh, well, there is some value here. Maybe not, we heard stuff like that. It doesn't seem like it's going away. We heard stuff like, oh, well, it looks like people are still investing in it. Some of these things are scams. Maybe some of these things have value. I should probably pop this and just go to town on him. Zomboys jumped on in. Hello. Hey, welcome. Thank you for the follow, my friend. Glad you're in here. And they don't like NFTs at all. No, pretty much. Let's see. Yeah, Bellinger Gaming isn't the debate type channel, especially for NFTs. Oh, yeah, definitely not. I'm not going to lie. I do like listening to their content. I pretty much don't agree with it, but I do appreciate the fact that they try to do I do appreciate that they try to do deep dives on some specific topics. When it comes to crypto, they're just way off base. But it is what it is. But yeah, let's see. Good night from Brazil. And I understand a little English. But could you let me know if this game can be cooperative? So we're probably going to get cooperative gameplay here in the future. We're definitely not there right now. But I would expect maybe over the course of this next year there might be some co-op or the implementations of the beginning aspects of it. So we'll have to see how things go. Let's see here what else we got. Let's see. I know I had another video that I wanted to watch on stream with you guys to talk about it, but I actually can't remember which one it was. I thought I had it written down, but apparently I did not put it down. There will be 4-man PvE co-op arena. Yeah, I do hope that we stay co-op. I really do hope we stay co-op. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, competitive would be fun, but I think when it comes to like growing community, which I think is going to be a huge benefit for Lost Relics, I do think the cooperative gameplay would be much better than a competitive one for the game as a whole. Now, that doesn't mean that people aren't going to enjoy competitive more than the others, but it is what it is. Someone hit a trans yesterday, fried zombie, I believe. Perfect time to hit a dark scourge in this meta, you know what I mean? What a find. Just started out last Friday and you're already running epics? Nice. Is this a good idea? Are you rushing it? I mean, if you're able to do epics, I'm guessing, if you're doing epics, I'm guessing you purchased a few blockchain items. And I mean, I think it is a really good time to start. Right now there's a lot more activity, new patch coming out. New patch came out. We're probably going to be getting new gameplay patches or events slowly over the course of these next few months. So I do think it's a good time to start. You didn't, so you're just going in without. Yeah, you might be having a problem then. You might be taking too much time then if you haven't purchased any items. So I would maybe bring it down a notch. Focus on just getting out of the dungeons in the beginning with as little consumables as you can, without using as much healing, and sell the resources that you get so you can get some gold. You can buy some items there that'll help you out. There's some virtual relics. There's some virtual swords and weapons that you can purchase. But yeah, I would just acquire some gold to start. Oh, you're doing the quest for it. Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, you're good on Vent. I get it now. I thought you were just jumping in willy-nilly. There we go. The broadsword one-shots everybody? Nice. I still have not had... Oh man, I hit the wrong button there. Still haven't had the chance to go back and run some of the lower dungeons yet, to tell you the truth. I have a feeling this is where the Nether Demon... I wish the Nether Demon dropped like something special, like the way that the strong boxes drop for Wardens. Maybe now anything can drop, but if it has, I haven't seen it. You actually got epic armor as well? Okay, so you did already get some gold then. So you've got some gold, you made some sales, you got some epic armor, you made some good money on coal. Oh yeah, that's a good point. What is coal at right now? It's coming down, it's coming down. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. I think I'm going to be definitely getting my forging to level 20 is the next goal. And I think I'm able to do that now, or do it slowly over time. That's probably why I want to stay in Mount Olkip as much as I can. You'll get decent healing relics. You'll eventually be able to spam the mat effectively. Probably want to eventually invest in a Frosty's Delight. What is a Frosty going for? Is anybody seeing Frosty's Delight getting play in higher tier dungeons? Because it's only giving you 2 uses right now, so two full regens. I guess it really depends on your loadout, obviously. Let's see. The blue healing relics are good early buys. Yeah, good early buys and good for the price for sure. So I think like what they're like in 300, 400 shadow stones. Something feels different since the last time he patched it. I don't know what it is, to tell you the truth. Got one summoner in the back over there. Damn, I was really hoping I was going to get that summoner coming around the corner. The summoners and the elites are obviously the fastest. So whenever I put a lot of distance on them with the blue Graham, they typically be the ones that are like at the front of the line. Let's see, you're scared that your armor breaks and you're going to run out of money? I wonder how often the epic armor is breaking. I mean, that's going to be part of the game. Your armor is going to break. But you've only had 1 death so far, so that's pretty good then. I mean, your armor is going to break. I don't think epics break that often, comparatively speaking. You probably tried some of the iron or the green armor. Those will break pretty often, I would say. Epic will last you a little bit, I think. So I wouldn't worry about it there. And for this coal, like with this coal price, like you'll be able to earn it and easily keep rotating armor sets if that's the case. Oh, he hit me. Oh, come on. All 3 whiffs. If I time it right, if I space it right, I can avoid the... Oh, this guy's alive. He's running me into other guys. Haha, I shot backwards there. Cool. Nope, that wasn't good enough. Alright, let's see. People wonder why wearing Moonjackal with a melee set. People wonder why you're wearing Moonjackal with a melee set. Oh, because it doesn't break. I gotta grind a mill to afford the old kept eventually. Yep. Yeah, that was probably the very first purchase I did, is I made sure to go get the old Keptian armor. And I got a little bit lucky because I got it cheaper than most. I don't even know what it is right now. Let's see. 300, yeah, 900, yeah, I got it for 6. 930 something thousand. Maybe I got it for, actually I think I got it for 7, if I remember correctly. Let's see, you need relics just in general. Yeah, you definitely need relics. You know, make sure you get... I mean, I think it's easier for people to make a decision on their weapon first. That's just going to be the easiest decision for you to make in terms of how you spend, if you spend. And then after that, it's going to be relics. But yeah, I definitely would recommend. I mean, I pretty much would recommend for all players to buy when they start to just put in an investment in to get either blues or purples. You don't have to put in a lot. Just get 1 or 2 items. I think you'll be fine, especially for the price points right now. I think you're going to be just fine. So 64 elites. I thought there was more elites. I got the feeling that there was more elites in Manalkept than what apparently there are. That's a lot at the beginning. Yeah, it takes time. It takes time. See, I don't even know where my blue gram is. It's all the way over here. Killed him before the spawn, so that was good. Well, that's bad. Definitely taking way too much damage. Give me the gold. Actually, I think I broke my record yesterday when I was running mount. 600 and I think it was 634 gold that I finished in one run. That's the most I've ever got. And unfortunately, I think I don't know what I was doing. I wasn't paying attention. I don't know how many chests I hit. You know, because I normally finish between 300 to 400 gold every run. So when I saw 600, I was like, what the hell did I hit, you know? Maybe those 600 were divvied out of, like, I hit one huge jackpot silver chest, but for the most part, I would assume it's coming out of 3. $325 right now, and most of the map is cleared. And I already fought the Nether Demon. Nice. Yeah, so came back from San Antonio this weekend. It's a good like 4 or 5 hour drive away from where I'm located. We set up at a show over there, sports cards and memorabilia. You know, I was surprised to see how much Pokemon's always been big. Pokemon card vendors have always been big. But I was actually surprised this time around how much Pokemon there was. Only really got to see 2 tables, I think it was. One of them was one legit vendor that had a bunch of, old video game consoles and games. I almost picked up a couple just for shits and giggles. But I didn't. I probably should have. Let's see. You've had a 500 plus 1 run with 4 chests, most that you found so far. Maybe I did find more than 1 chest because like 600 something is huge, right? Raid! We got the raid. Hey, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Glad you're able to jump on board. Cormu, thank you so much for the raid. Oh man, I missed a path. I was looking at the raid there, and I missed a path. Let's see here, really quick. Let me see what I can find here for a second. Where's the video? There was one more video I wanted to cover with you guys while we streamed a little bit, but I freaking lost it. I don't know where it is anymore. Okay, well, I think we're just going to have to keep it rolling here. Is this it? Okay, yeah, here. It's by Josh Strife on why play-to-earn games are not the future. Let me see if I get the audio levels right here. So let me know if you can hear something.
Create content about scams. Let's say it makes lots of money.
Yeah, that should be pretty
It's
good.
fun.
I think
and
it's a
because
little
it's fun,
loud,
more
but you
people are
guys
going to
tell
jump
me.
in and do it. Well, the ad revenue is now being split between the 25.
Hold on. Let's
What do you
start
think
from
of
the
play to earn blockchain games?
It is dumb, and I will tell you why. If it's a fun game, everyone's going to play it. Therefore, you're not earning as much. If you are earning a lot of a game, it's not going to be very fun, and it's now just work. It's a job where you're either not paid much, or you're paid a lot and you hate it.
So it's about rarity. If everyone's playing it, then the resources generated are going to be abundant. And
So I think what's just to start off here, just starting off on the video, I do think it's important for people to understand that when we're talking about this, or from the perspectives that they're giving, like make sure to understand when we say value, the amount of value is going to be subject to every individual differently, right? So like obviously, like if I'm playing a blockchain game and I'm earning, for example, like what I need to be able to generate for it to be worth my time as a job is going to be different than everybody else's, right? So we each have our own definitions of that in. So if you're playing around with this idea, you have to keep a really big open mind in terms of like what value is important, what level of value is important. So,
and not necessarily have much value. But if no one's playing it, then the resources you generate will be rare, but also there'll be no one to buy them off you.
YouTube is a perfect example, right? Let's say, so I'm a scam tuber, right? I create content about scams. Let's say it makes lots of money. It's fun. And because it's fun, more people are going to jump in and do it. Well, the ad revenue is now being split between the 25,000 of us that are now doing it. It's fun, but I'm not making any money off it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to go and make content in an area that is boring, about like financial stuff. It's boring, but not many people want to do it because it's boring. So it makes a lot of money.
So-
It's going to fall into that, 100%.
Completely.
So Don BJ found the Bellular Gaming channel. Yeah, he has a couple different channels. Did you want me to link it for you? Did I miss something? My bad. Yeah, just I think it's under Bellular News. I think it's the one I watched. But on this one, oh man, I just lost the train of thought. What were they just saying right now? Oh, so pretty much what they're arguing here is that like the whole thing about like a lot of people playing it and they're no longer valuable, or very little people playing it and they're more scarce. What they're describing is a market. They're describing an open market. Yeah, so like if I'm selling fish in an area where nobody is able to catch fish, those fish are going to be more valuable. If all of a sudden more people figure out ways to actually catch those fish in those areas, now there's going to be an influx of fishing, and the price is going to come down. It's just a market. The markets apply to everything in the real world. They already apply to video games too. And they're going to apply to the digital items in games. They already apply to digital items in games. So I think the better perspective here in trying to understand like what is about to happen is taking all the models that we've already seen working. Seeing people selling, World of Warcraft items or accounts, or seeing people, creating gaming guilds to hunt for items and then sell them on eBay, or even like gold farming from some respect. Like the idea here that a group of gamers are able to come together, provide a service to other gamers in a digital world, and be compensated for it. These are all markets, and all these markets will fluctuate. The funny thing is that like this same thing applies to virtual digital goods as well. We just look at the Lost Relics virtual market, and we see how big of a change things happen there. Like these are the natural habits of human beings, and they play out across everything: music, movies, collectibles, video games, sports, everything. There's a reason why there's a title called Video Game Economist before there was actually video game earnings from NFTs or anything like that. It's because players use this same type of logic and they apply it to their actual potions in the game, or their health in the game, or their XP gain in the, it is what it is.
I completely agree. When someone says play to earn, I say, do you mean work? And they go, no, play to earn. You play the game and you earn money. And I go, okay, is the game fun? Because if the game's fun, you won't necessarily play it to earn money. You'll play it for the enjoyment. If the game's not fun and you're playing it for the money, that is work. What I've seen recently...
I mean, that's not... I wouldn't... that's not my definition of work, for sure. Like, there are plenty of things that are also hobbyist in nature. I mean, I operate in them. Sports cards, collectibles, autographs, Pokemon cards. All of these things are not quote-unquote work, but have thriving markets behind them. You know, so they're... Because you can earn by doing other things that are not work. Like passive income is an example of it. I can earn by renting you my house. I'm not doing any work. I'm still earning. So I can earn doing other aspects. It doesn't have to be work. Will there be a subsection of games that are considered work? Yes, there will be. And that I think is going to be fascinating to see how that evolves, because pretty much what you're doing is you're doing it's digital labor, and digital labor for entertainment's sake, you know. Which is going to be really unique to see how that grows over time. I have no clue what's going to happen there, but we're about to feed these younglings to the metaverse. Oh, they're going to go in deep. They're going to be thrown into it, and they're not going to understand what the hell is happening. And that's why we're here, right?
And this does have a point. There's actually an MMO game that's going this way. I have seen, especially with the rise
There's
of
hundreds that have
NFTs,
already gone
the
this way.
financialization of everything.
Yes.
There seems to be this very tech bro, very hustle culture idea that if you aren't financially benefiting from doing something, then doing it is pointless or silly or stupid, and you should stop. So people want to play games.
I wouldn't take it to that extreme. Like, yes, there is a financialization of everything, but you have to think about it. Like, why is that the case? Like, this trend was happening before crypto was even invented. The hustle economy, the idea of people taking on 2-3 part-time jobs rather than going to work for a huge corporation with a 401k for the rest of their life. Like, why has this been happening? Why does this trend exist? This trend is happening because of the financial system the world is in right now for our generations. Okay, we're not going back to the times of the 1950s, the 60s, and 70s, where work at that time was dedicating yourself to one corporation. Really what it came down to was this idea of safety. This one huge company was saying, hey, if you're part of our team, we go ahead and we protect our employees. We offer you the benefits. We offer you the retirement. If you come work for us, we want you to work here for your entire life, and we will take care of you if you take care of us. That mindset is gone. That does not exist no more. That, and then the financial ramifications that it's had to the world over the past 40 years is the reason why these new types of economies, these new types of businesses, these new types of employment are jumping up. And yeah, it's being applied to everything. I don't think this is a directly crypto thing, but crypto, I think, is a result of what that mindset has created. It takes that to another. It's like the invention of new tools just occurred when this new type of philosophy has started to pop up across the world, right? Stryker found a gold mine of anti-NFT content. I mean, now's the time, bro. We're at a market low. But the funny thing is, this is like, look, it comes for me. The reason why I watch this is like, I love watching these guys' channels. I really do. I respect them from listening, about the traditional video game markets. I also want to see over the course of time, as crypto games and Web3 games become more, and NFTs become more acceptable by the general public, you're going to see all of these people over the course of years, how their mind starts to change. So we were watching Bellular earlier, and he starts to make very small comments about some of this stuff is valuable, and hey, maybe if Ethereum goes to proof of stake, maybe that'll be okay. And he starts to say these little things, right? Now, 90% of the content is this is a scam, but then there's the 1, 2, 5% of like, oh, maybe you're going to get NFTs that are tickets, and maybe you'll be able to have, maybe you're going to be able to have, like, this is like the slow acceptance of all of these new trends. Like, us that are here in crypto gaming right now, like, we're way on the forefront, guys. Like, I can't, like, it's kind of shocking to listen to people that you respect, do research that you respect, and find out how far behind on crypto they are compared to you. You know what I mean? So that's some of the things that I've been seeing really interesting. So like, yeah, I mean, that's the keynotes that I'm listening to. I want to try to understand like where's the current amongst top content creators. What is their current feeling? What have they shifted their ideas on? You know, how is this all evolving? Because like I was telling you earlier, it's the same thing. When I started with crypto, I was like, this can't work. Like I challenged my buddy to be like, look, you invest in crypto and I'll invest in the stock market and we'll see who makes more, right? And then like 1 month of doing research on crypto, because like I was going to do my homework if I was going to make a bet, you know, after 1 month, I started to realize, hey, all of my stock bets all play around the same thing as crypto. I was buying stuff like PayPal, the digitalization of money. I was buying stuff like Nvidia. The idea about the GPU sales in video games was also being driven by the crypto mining markets, you know. So like I started seeing all these things and I was like, oh, you know what? Actually, a lot of my things agree with crypto. And over time, I started to change my thought process. Now I did that faster than most, but they're going to be doing the same. You know what I mean? One of your favorite ones is Line Goes Up. Ooh, can you put put that link in the chat real quick, because I'll save it for later. I'll definitely listen to it if I already haven't. I didn't like memorize the titles, so maybe I am wrong. I'm actually super surprised I'm out of Harvester and Pumpkin before I'm out of my Archer. That's rarely happened. I mean, I have done most of this already. Let's see. Galaxy Stone, I'll take that. Kill this creeper. Dodge the bullet. Kill him. All right. Let's see. They're accepting the new paradigm with. They'll accept the new paradigm with enough training. Yeah, eventually, like it won't even be training. It'll just be common knowledge. It's just going to take time, right? Their stance on it hasn't changed much. And you're right, it hasn't changed much. But I would, from what I remember listening to a year ago to what I'm listening to now, I'm hearing things like I hear like Alana Pierce talking about NFTs are just digital receipts, right? And now I listen to her saying things like, oh, like, well, maybe it would be weird if they started, if you're able to use that receipt to resell it to somebody else, like a video game. So like even making these like comments that are still technically against crypto, but also kind of being like, oh, wait a minute, maybe there's something more to this. So like I'm hearing that now. But then again, like I've been listening purposely for this type of change over the past year, right? So maybe my reference goes back a little bit longer than yours does, but like oh, stupid guy. Oh man, these guys literally came out of the ground the second I hit the node. But yeah, let's see. It took me like 5 hours to watch Line Goes Up on stream. Line Goes Up. Let me look it up really quick. Maybe I have seen it. Is the Line Goes Up that huge one about NFTs? Is it like the number one by like traditional people on it? Let's see. Line Goes Up. Oh yeah. I've seen this one. Yeah, so Line Goes Up. The funny thing is I watched Line Goes Up. I listened to it all. And the funny thing is that like literally all the positives are literally everything that he comments and says is negative. It's just like, it's just a matter of like, we are both looking at the same coin and you're looking at heads and I'm looking at tails, but it's still the same coin. And it's okay if you have a different perspective on it, but to not be able to understand that the other half exists, that's the part that whoever made that video doesn't really understand. There's two sides to the coin, and when you say something's a bug and I say something's a feature, both sides can exist, okay, at the same time, because the thing literally exists. To some people, they interpret it as a bug. To some people, they interpret it as a feature. Like, it doesn't mean that the thing doesn't exist. It actually proves that it exists. But you have to be able to be open-minded to be able to see both perspectives. Even if you think one perspective is better than the other or whatnot, that doesn't mean that both don't exist. So yeah, I should probably listen to that one on stream, but that is a pretty long video. I remember. I've only seen it once, so it'd be good for me to go over it a second time. Maybe I can do that for a future one. Let me make a note here. The dude was organized and technical, but hella toxic. Yeah, for sure. It's basically a documentary. Yeah, I definitely saw it. I definitely have seen it. I just didn't remember the name of it. I mean, he wasn't trying to be both sides. He was purposely biased against NFT's application. But yeah, exactly. So like you can, like I could take the same info that he did, and I could put it in the light of a crypto enthusiast, and using the exact same words, I can say that these are benefits. Like that's how shocking it was to me, because I'm like, well, you hate that thing, I love that thing. We both agree that that thing is a thing. So it's like, I hate chicken pot pie. You may love chicken pot pie, but it exists nonetheless. You see what I'm saying? And my point is that the fact that it exists by itself means that everything's going to change. You know? So is what it is. Let's continue on with this one. But good note for next time. Maybe I'll do the line goes up one. That would be good.
But people want to monetize games, so playing games is no longer done for the joy of the game. It's now done for the kind of late stage capitalism idea that this must benefit me in some way.
What if, you know, if I was on the podcast with him, I would say, what if there are some group of gamers that get enjoyment out of the financialization part of games? I mean, I love playing Roller Coaster Tycoon. I love playing, what is it? Indie game developer. I love those games. I do enjoy business simulation games. Maybe that's not for you. Maybe you don't. But does that mean that it shouldn't exist? So like if there is a joy that is taken out of those type of games, then there will be a joy that's taken out of these games. Because this is more directly at hand. You go look at like Peter Molyneux's game, crypto game. It's literally like a business simulation. Like it is the idea of like you owning your own Decentraland or Sandbox land, creating your own business on it, digital business, and then being able to go from there. Like it's okay for both games to exist. Hola from Argentina. ¿Qué onda, Leonardo? Thank you for joining the stream, my friend. So let me continue.
What do you see the financialization of games ultimately leading to, Cam?
Them not being games anymore. It will just be work with a reskin to make it look like you're playing a game. Genuinely, that's what it's going to become. Look at it like this. RuneScape doesn't allow real-world trading, right? Imagine if they did. Twisted bows are worth 1 billion because they're rare and because not many people can do the content because it's hard. Now, everyone's going to jump into the game, learn that content, and farm the ever-living shit out of Twisted Bows. The value...
Okay, two things. One, if video games theoretically turn into work, then, like he says, then what are you going to do for fun? You're no longer having fun in video games. Let's assume he's correct. You're no longer having fun. You're only doing this for work. Then what are you going to do for fun? You're going to play video games that are fun. Or you're going to play movies or watch movies, or you're going to do other fun things. Like, it doesn't mean that video games, like, if video games turn into work, it doesn't mean all video games are going to turn into work. It doesn't. It just doesn't. This idea of having 100% of something go in, like, it's not black and white. And even if it was black and white, if I only logged into Lost Relics to play, to work, if Lost Relics takes off and I just come in to do work, what do you think I'm going to do with my downtime? With my downtime, I'm going to be playing Dota, or I'm going to be playing Halo, or I'm going to be playing Call of Duty, or I'm going to be playing, I don't know, whatever new indie game just came out that's fun. People aren't just like, oh, well, now I'm a gamer, so now I just have to work. That's just the way it is. You know, that's not going to happen. Second off, this idea about like these twisted bows that he's talking about, that everyone's going to come in and farm them. And that's, okay, first off, with this new technology, is that possible? Yeah. That's possible. You could have a blockchain item that is able to be created over the course of time with no scarcity. But you could also have the opposite. You could also have, oh, guess what? An item that's only minted up to what, 20 that exists that could be farmed that you could then sell, or that you could, like, both will exist, not just one or the other. And having more options is better than having less options.
You will go down because there are so many of them now.
I mean, we've already seen RuneScape become a stable job for several people in Venezuela. There's the whole Venezuelan economy
Is that
being
bad?
propped up by RuneScape Gold, and that's not me taking the piss. If you guys actually Google this, there are a lot of people in countries that right now you can earn more.
What you're telling me is that there's a demand for it. If you're telling me that an entire country is being propped up on one video games economy, what you're telling me is that there is a demand for that. If you took that away, what do you think would happen? No, maybe it would be better if those things were taken to the next level. Yeah, maybe.
More money farming green dragons in RuneScape and then selling that gold that you gain from killing the green dragons to a third-party gold-selling site than you can from several low-paying jobs in certain countries.
So what are you supposed to do?
The
Not
Russian
play
ruble
RuneScape for
has
money?
crashed so much that instead of having a minimum wage paying job, you can now just play RuneScape for like 10 hours a day and you'd make more money. The RuneScape Gold.
But see, that's the point. They're not seeing it, guys. They're not seeing it. Okay, look. First off, it goes back to what I was telling you earlier about perspective. If you live in I don't remember what country they were just quoting. If you live in a third world country in which being able to find a job to provide a living for your family is not easily doable, then you are going to work in these digital economies because they're easier to obtain value from than something in the physical world. Like, if you can, it's the same. I have an internet job. Like, my clients meet me in Zoom calls. Like, if I can make more money efficiently on the internet, I'm going to do it. It doesn't matter if it's a video game. It doesn't matter if it's Zoom calls. It doesn't matter. It's about that part has no bearing on the situation. Okay, now, if you tell me that that people that live in these nations in which the minimum wage is $2 or $3, that does not mean that if you live in a nation where the minimum pay is $7, $10, $15 an hour, that doesn't mean that those options are that you're gonna take that option. What are you gonna do with your time instead? You're going to be doing another job that pays more than that video game. And what are you going to be doing with your free time then? You're going to be playing video games. You know, like, why cannot both scenarios exist? I don't understand. Why does it have to be one or the other? First off, there is no one or the other. That model does not exist at all. It's one or the other because we're theorizing what the future will be. And we're speculating on two huge extremes. Games that are simply for pleasure and games that are simply for work. And neither one of those will come to fruition. It will be somewhere in the middle. Actually, it will probably be both living at the exact same time. You know what I mean? Let's see. They're basically talking about a job and then turning Axie into a predatory lifeline. Like, look, the concept of how Axie is built out does feel predatory. Do you think that another game developer is going to take that and make a better system that isn't predatory? Like, of course, people would opt in for that system, but it takes time. It's going to take time to be built out. We're too early for the failures of the past to define the future. The new iterations will come out. Is that NFT games economies are net zero? No, they don't have to be. Like, we don't have to be playing zero-sum games. They can be. That's the beauty of it right now. Is that we're so early that this is the experiment we're having right now. I don't think that a world in which NFT games are zero-sum only will exist. Maybe after trial and error, that's the solution we come across, or the conclusion we come to. But we have to build it out and experiment with it first in order to actually be able to see. You know what I mean? Let's see. Rebel bots might even be the replacement. It's like work ATMs. I mean, look, guys, when a majority of jobs are being turned are going from physical labor into automation, you know, jobs that used to no longer be available are gone. Or like, what are you supposed to do? You either invent new jobs, or we make progression on some type of new economy. Like, I don't see it. I don't see it, guys. Rebel bots might even. Oh yeah, we're talking. How does a game become positive sum? Where would the money come from? So like so it doesn't have to be money. Okay. The thing is that like that's the problem. The concept of money. The concept we all know. Concept of money is make believe. What it comes down to is value that human beings put on or give value to certain either objects or ideas or whatnot. Like, trust me, like as an accountant, I can tell you the numbers that represent profit, income, expenses, assets, liabilities, all of these have been created, have been made. They're man-made. They're man-made. Like the concept, like, I mean, I don't remember, what was it, like my tax law class. Like the whole idea of my tax law class was to go back and look at like Supreme Court decisions on like, what is the definition of income? Like as human beings, we can't even define what income is. For example, let's say you have a shop. You're selling, you're selling potions in a video game. You have your own shop, okay? And I come up into your store and I say, hey, you know what, Kennedy, I want to buy 100 potions from you. Here's my cash. Here's my gold. Here's my whatever. Boom. Is that a sale? Is that income? Did you just earn an income? Okay. If I paid you cash, like let's say dollars, is that income? You would say yes. You sold something and you made money. I was like, okay. So let's come back and let's say, hey, okay, same scenario. I go back into your store, but this time I say, you know what, Kennedy? I want to buy 100 potions from you, but I want to pay you in a month. Okay? Like, will you sell it to me on credit? In other words, on credit. Like, will you let me take these items and pay you later? Is that a sale? Because in the first scenario, you received cash. In the second scenario, you received credit. Like, you didn't actually receive anything. You let me walk out of your store carrying 100 potions, and you got nothing except my promise. Is that income? So like, should you pay, like if we're paying taxes, should you pay taxes when you actually get the cash? Or do you pay taxes based on the sale that you made even though you haven't been paid anything yet? Like, what is your income? Same scenario, 100 potions left your store. In one scenario, you have income. In the other scenario, you don't. So like, my point that I'm trying to do with all of this is I'm trying to say that the concept of income, the concept of value are man-made and are changing all the time, okay? So when we talk about a positive sum game, if you're, the value that you're receiving from a game doesn't necessarily need to be crypto. It doesn't necessarily need to be cash. It doesn't, it could be anything, okay? What is the true value that you get out of playing Lost Relics, playing crypto games? Some people would say the engine. Some people would say the dollars that I get after I get out of crypto. Some people will say the NFTs, like, no, like this is what I want to hold. Some people would say, actually, I didn't get anything out of it except for 150 hours of fun. And that's value too. You see what I'm saying? So like, the whole point about like, where's the money come from is like, I would change that concept about where's the value come from. And where's the value come from? It could come from collectability. It can come from scarcity. It can come from entertainment. It can come from like actual cryptocurrency, or it can come from actual dollar values of things. Like, value is subjective. Value is subjective. And that's what we're all trying to figure out right now, because literally crypto is having us question all of these concepts that have existed since the creation of money, but are rarely ever talked about and rarely ever discussed in a critical level. You know what I mean? You think your response is valid, however, I like that. Let's go. However, what? Maybe I should give you some time to type it out really quick and we keep listening. So we'll listen and we'll come back to it real quick, okay?
Is actually a more stable cryptocurrency than some actual cryptocurrencies.
I'm actually going to do a little bit of maths here that will probably scare people.
And the reason I bring this up specifically while Cal is sorting out his maths is there's an article on Massively OP that says Bless Unleashed on PC, remember Bless Unleashed, that next big, the WoW killer, is becoming a blockchain play-to-earn MMO
I've never heard of that game.
RPG. So Bless Unleashed wasn't really doing that well, and now it's going to be added onto the blockchain. It's going to become a play-to-earn MMORPG. Who's still playing Bless Unleashed? Anyone in the chat still grinding away? I'm guessing not. Cal, how's the maths gone?
I've got it. So, the minimum wage in Venezuela, which is what pretty much everyone is on, is 12 million. I don't even know what their currency is. Venezuelan rubles or something. God knows.
12 million. Okay, let's talk
12 million.
That's a lot of inflation. That's 12 and 6 zeros. Right.
Yeah. So
Bolivar,
that's
people
their
are saying.
monthly.
Bolivar.
Yeah. That's their monthly minimum wage, which pretty much everyone is on.
Okay.
Now, that is 22 British pounds
A month.
a month. Now,
Yeah,
That's about
this goes back to what I was saying earlier. Its value is different for everybody. It's subject. So, like 1 hour's worth of labor in Venezuela is not worth the same as 1 hour of labor in the UK. The whole point is that like value is different for everybody. You know what I mean? Value exists in 100 different forms. Let's see. Going back. So going back to like, however, from Kennedy, however, that could literally apply to everything. And it literally does apply to everything. Like, I read this amazing, like, what am my like, they say that when you take the CPA exam, for becoming a professional accountant, that you get brainwashed, and you don't really get brainwashed. What you get is you actually get your mind opens up to this whole idea and this whole man-made system that the whole world operates on. So like for example, accountants, we make rules, or the governing bodies of accounting, like we make rules that determine how to value things. For example, you have a building. Let's say you're opening a business. You have a building on open land, and you fence it in on your property. Okay. At that time, when you start it, the fence has a value, the land has a value, and the buildings have a value, right? We can all understand that, right? That's what your business is operating on. And let's say, there is a pond in the, some acre in the back, whatever, just a random pond in there not being used for nothing, and it just exists on the property, okay? Then fast forward 12 years later, and we realize, that pond actually contains something very valuable in it, okay, that the business owns. Well, in the beginning, when the business was formed, we didn't account for that. We just put on the books that you own a building, you own a fence, and you own some land. Okay? Well, if the pond is part of that land, then the value that we gave the land at the very beginning was incorrect, because it had this thing that we didn't know it had, and we didn't discover it until later. So do we go back and change the value of the land was then, or do we update the value of what it could be now? Okay? And like furthermore, what if underneath that, like, let's go even further. What if underneath that pond, there's like literally a gold mine? Like you have to mine down into the ground to like retrieve the gold. Okay. So now we know that gold exists below your property that you own. This is valuable. Okay. But how much gold is down there? How do you know how valuable that gold is on your property? How do you know how much your land is actually worth? Well, what do? You estimate. Okay. How do you know what your house is really worth if you're going to sell your house? You estimate. You're like, okay, well, what do other people do? The other sales that are in my area. Okay. You find a transcendent item in Lost Relics, and how do you know what it's really worth? Well, you know what? I go look at all the other transcendent items that sold, and then I can kind of say like, hey, this is what it should be worth. My point is that like that's done for everything, and literally everything is subjective. You know, that is the state of the world. So like even like this concept that we've been operating on the dollar, which is a stable currency, the dollar has never been stable. The dollar's always changing. But people's perspective is what is staying stable. Does that make sense? These guys aren't experts. They're just YouTubers doing a podcast. They are. But like, if I go and try to look for expert content on video games discussing economics, you're not going to find it. This is the best thing that we can find here. You see what I'm saying? And to be fair, a lot of the ways that they think, I would assume, is how the general public thinks. So if I'm shitting on it, I don't mean to shit on it. That's not the point. Like, I actually do listen to these guys, and I do respect it a lot. I'm just trying to like, hey, put in my 2 cents, give you my perspectives on things. And I think that might bring you entertainment. And if you find that valuable, then maybe you spending your time here was you trying to watch to earn or something. I don't know. But you get my point here, right? The game's basically dead now. Other experts don't even know about the Venezuelan currency. Glad I didn't spend too much time on it then. I think it's entertaining to listen to. I enjoy it, and I love taking their opinions. Like, let me put it this way. I'm talking like this with you guys because I know you guys know crypto, and I know you understand some of this stuff. Like, maybe there's some areas that you're not super familiar with, and great, that's cool. But like, the point is just that I can have a more open discussion, talking back and forth with y'all. Now, if I was on the podcast, I don't mean to be shitting on their ideas. I don't mean to be disrespectful. I would simply be asking questions like, hey, the people are earning a living wage from RuneScape in this country. Do you think that game should go away? Like that would be do you think that should stop happening? Okay. Would you be against that game providing more features for those people to be able to earn a better living? Like, these are simple little questions that all go around the idea about this whole thing about digital labor. Like, is it okay? Like, is it okay to work online? Like, is that any less valuable than working in person? In some situations, yes. In some situations, no. Like, another good argument that I heard, and I don't remember who I heard it from, what YouTuber, but they made the argument, it was probably Bellular too. I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was Asmongold, saying something like, kind of like what Canada is saying, like, where's the money come? Like, what's the true value? Like, if you're playing a video game, like, what are you actually contributing to society? Because like the idea is, if you contribute to society, you get rewarded by being paid a wage or by being paid income. So like, where is the value? And that's a very good, like, I never really thought about it like that, but it makes sense. Like, it pretty much, if we were to dumb it down, it is the argument of like, people are wasting their lives playing video games. You're not being productive. That is the argument. Okay. My question to you is it possible to be productive by playing a video game? And the answer is yes. There's no question. The answer is yes. We already have the esports industry that disproves that entire question. If that industry, is providing hours of entertainment, is having organizations that are making millions of dollars, even though there's only a few of them. It's not a huge industry yet, but it does prove that there is ways to provide productive value through video games. So we know it exists. We know it exists. The question just is to what degree and to what level it can grow is what we're talking about here. Just equalize economic opportunities across the globe, says Don BJ. I mean, that's kind of the point of the internet, isn't it? Like, if the internet is just a place where the entire world shares information, then technically work can be done anywhere online for anyone else on the other side of the world. Like, now it's going to take decades to happen, but like, yeah, the internet is allowing people to do work from other places in which jobs don't exist. There's a reason why Jagex leaves them alone, even though it's known as the RMT, real money trading. I mean, to be fair, like, how much control does Jagex actually have over it? Like, I mean, we already have gamers that are botting. We have gamers that are that are doing whatever they can to manipulate the system to be able to do whatever they're to be able to accomplish this. You know what? Let me spin these now so I can have room for them later. So, little time break here while we continue. Let's get a little bit of spins in. Riot Games revenue is in the billions. Oh yeah, huge, huge. Riot Games is bigger than the billions. Or in the big billions. Ooh, that was kind of close. I'll take the 10 coal though. I do like that. Give me the coal, baby. Roll number 2. The people who run these bots get pretty upset. I mean, it's an interesting question. Big money, no whammies, baby. Big money, no whammies. Let's see. Here we go. Imagine. Sticks, okay, for arrows. I actually don't have a problem with the commons. I don't mind them at all. Granted, I'm in the situation where like I'm crafting my own arrows. I'm using my own arrows. It feels a lot better than probably most people that are buying their arrows. But we'll see. We'll see. No, not the fish. Come on, bro. Okay, that one didn't feel good. All right, let's go back in. Okay, so YouTubers who were exposed, them in the past have been sent death threats over bot plans. Yeah, it's crazy. Jagex does do stuff about it, and it's been back and forth for years. Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of it, to be quite fair. I think it's intriguing because, like, none of it's worked. And I think we're going to go into a system where people are going to start to work on those models, and they're going to be the case studies. They're going to be the case studies for how this all evolves. People are going to look back, reference Jagex, what they did, what was good, what was bad, and build something better. So I think that's going to be real intriguing. I would love to find... I found a couple RuneScape documentaries that I've watched on that end. I'd love to find some more. So let's continue on with the video here.
The American dollars.
Sorry I keep pausing so often. I just have a lot of ideas.
Yeah, let's say I jump on and buy 2 bonds. I think bonds are still like $9.99 each. Might be, okay, 4 bonds because they're about £5, I think.
Yeah, they're about £5.
I can buy 4 bonds every month, no problem. Doesn't affect my financial situation.
Yeah.
But the people who are, let me get this right, the people who are selling the gold for other people to buy that bond, that's their monthly wage. Yeah. So they need to make about 18 mil gold in RuneScape a month for a full-time job. And that is a full-time job.
Yeah, and you can make 18 million a month in RuneScape if you have high stats.
You can do it in a day.
In a day.
So they're becoming literal millionaires in Venezuela. They're getting paid more for playing RuneScape than people are for being like CEOs of banks.
Like I would ask him, like, what is his individual problem with that? Like what is wrong with them making money? What is... I just don't see... I'm not following the argument. Like, what you're saying is that it exists. And my question to you is, like, is that bad or is that good? Like, obviously they're saying it's bad. Okay, can you please tell me why it's bad? And maybe they're about to say it. Who knows? Let me see.
And
that's no exaggeration.
This is exactly why scamming
they're not becoming millionaires,
is also
by the way.
so popular, because if you look at the risk to reward, you will make more money scamming someone out of 100 million gold than you will trying
so they're talking... Okay, I mean, that argument about scanning is coming from his perspective, which is like, if I'm playing this game and I don't live in Venezuela, and because you guys are making money over there, I have to put up with scams. Like, that's a pretty first world problem to have, right? For people that are making money in you know, exceeding their daily income. Wouldn't you say? You know, like, first off, the idea about scams, they're always going to exist. They've always existed. They're not going away. You know, they'll just be a new type of scam tomorrow, okay? That's the world we have always lived in.
To earn 100 million gold legitimately, when you just give the time and the breakdown and the chances of it.
Let me see.
That's why you've got so many bots that can do Vorkath, or bots that can do Zul'Ra, bots that can farm gold. It was the same thing with the gold farming, mostly out of China, in World of Warcraft, wasn't it?
In fact, Vorkath's a brilliant example. Vorkath's gold per hour is about 4 million gold per hour. That's about £3 once they've sold the gold off, right?
Yeah.
£3 compared to the £22 a month they get paid, they can make their monthly pay in about 8 hours.
Yeah.
Easily.
It's ridiculous.
I mean,
absolutely ridiculous. And this is one
why
of
is
the
it
reasons
ridiculous?
Why
Is it ridiculous
can't-
because it shouldn't exist? Is it ridiculous because it's not real? Like, why is it not ridiculous?
legalize real world trading, because the moment you do, it becomes a viable income source for so many people in so many countries that the government of that country would have to step in and start to legalize it and work it all out. Because
Yes, and what's
Yeah,
wrong with
how
that?
do you declare the taxes on that?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
let
and I mean,
let that
this is
happen.
why Axie
So,
Infinity got-
so what you're telling me is that people are making money, and you're worried that the government can't tax those people? Like, what's the problem? Let the government go through the work of figuring that out. First off, taxing, they already have rules on board to be able to figure out how taxes work within these economies. I worked with them. I specialize in them. Like, if you're going to tell me that another country isn't going to make new rules and regulations, like, they've been making new industries have been coming up every single year forever. And we continue to make tax laws that apply to different industries. It's going to keep happening. This is just the evolution of the world.
got so popular. So because it's done with like crypto wallets, they don't have data on anyone, right? But they're estimating that around 65% of their players, based on IP and stuff, are from Venezuela. Because although you can make about $30 to $80 a month playing it,
I mean, what this just sounds like gatekeeping. This sounds like, to me, is like, because you guys are working in this game that I enjoy, I can no longer enjoy it as much because of things you're doing. Like, who gives you the right? Like, if you don't like it, you don't like it. Move on. There's plenty of other games. If you don't want it to change, I'm sorry. You don't have that power. You don't have that say. Let's see. I mean, NFT games are generally a decade behind dealing with bots. Actually, I don't know. I would push back on you, and I would say, like, I don't know if there's actually anything that can be done about bots. I don't know if that is a solution that can be solved. So, like, bots are in my I mean, I am still looking for GDC discussions or for papers that have been written about how to deal with botting in a better way. It feels like a problem that no solution has been found. They're going to exist for NFT games. They're going to exist for traditional games. They're going to exist for games. Even this game has been with the moving workstation, which can barely handle the most rudimentary bots. I mean, yeah, like I said, I don't know if botting is going to be able to be a problem that can be solved. Maybe someone will figure it out sooner or later. I don't know. I really don't know. By the way, I know an Ethiopian prince who would triple your money if you buy $500 Amazon card from him. Exactly. I'll stop trolling. Sorry. No, you're good, bro. White Claw's kicking in. Oh man, I wish I had a drink. I have some whiskey. Let's see. Yeah, I thought they were having a problem with the whales funding the poor players' profits, but then they veered into taxation. Yeah, they're literally just talking about how other people's real world lives affect their digital entertainment, and that's just like, that's literally what it's coming down to. And that what that turns into is the, like, we don't want our games to change. You know. I don't know.
a lot for a Venezuelan.
It is. People in the chat are saying,
That
why
is a
not?
job.
I mean, how would he feel if I was talking about his job and his life? You know? Like, I just don't know.
Legalize it if everyone's doing it. Because as soon as you legalize it, you then have to take on a massive amount of extra corporate responsibility to do
Yeah,
it.
but
As soon
guess
as you
what?
say,
When you
right,
legalize
all of this
it-
has actual value, you can trade it around.
Now you immediately get to
conspiracy
classify
doesn't
who is scamming and who is
And
not.
if it has value, and kids are buying treasure hunter keys or random chance keys and then pulling stuff from a treasure hunter box that has value, Is that gambling?
Bro, well, okay, look, if you want to have the discussion about gambling, which I think is a big one, I've started to do research on gambling in video games because I think not now and not even in the next 3 to 5 years, but in the next 10 years, I think we're going to have a huge, like a bigger than we've ever seen governments be involved in video games when it comes to gambling. I think it's going to be fascinating to watch it happen. I don't have no clue. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of homework on it. So gambling, yeah, it's a huge topic to go on. But like he's talking about right now about like if kids are playing games and kids are earning money and doing these things, like I get it. You want to protect the kids. I get it. I do too. You know what I also see? I see kids setting up at sports card conventions that I just went to where you have to pay $200+ per table with like an entire collection of Pokemon cards selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, we already live in this world. You know what I mean? Like, I come across a 10-year-old that wants to do a deal with me for $1,000 worth of Pokemon cards. Like, what? Like, this exists already. Yeah, I thought they were NFTs are considered gambling in certain Asian gaming communities. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't blame it. I can see the idea of NFTs by their nature aren't gambling. The implementation of them in certain games is gambling. Does that you know what I'm saying? Over here in the Netherlands, games are already getting banned because of loot boxes. So like yeah, D Benny's coming in and saying like yeah, we need to have these conversations. Some of this stuff does need to be regulated. Some of this stuff doesn't need to be. Some of this should be free open market. But we need to have the educated conversation to be able to figure all that out. That's why NFTs are banned in Korean games. Buying packs of Pokemon or Magic cards is gambling. Well, that's my question. Is like buying Magic cards or Pokemon cards gambling? You're opening a pack. You have no clue what's in it. Oh, no, but that's just for entertainment pleasure. That's just so that you can play a card game. Well, then what's the difference between doing that and doing a loot box? Like, for real. Like, what is the difference? Why is that not gambling and this is? Because they both carry value. And then the question is like, if the government can't even tell you what value is because we're having Supreme Court cases over the definition of income, then the value is whatever the person in charge says the value is. And then we go into that whole world about what about freedom? What about, liberty, all this stuff. And it's just like, he's mad because he wants the millionaires in his country to be playing RuneScape. Where are the parents at? Doesn't it fall on the uneducated kids or the parents? I mean, there's obviously responsibility for both the parent and the kid, but to what level, to what degree? What's the stuff that we should really be paying attention to and not allow to happen? What is the stuff that we shouldn't? Exactly what Kennedy is saying, like, should some of these games be 18 plus? Like, I don't know the answers, but we, as a society, we're like, first off, as a society of gamers, we're going to be at the forefront of these conversations. We're going to be the ones that are going to be left to either defend it or support it when the traditional political systems get involved. So like, it's going to be really important to be educated on this stuff more than it ever has been in the past. Did I miss it? I think I did. Yeah, I missed a spot. So yeah, let's continue.
It absolutely is at that point.
It's one of the main reasons that Magic the Gathering are not, Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro are not able in any way to actually acknowledge the second-hand market. Because the moment...
But that's stupid. That's stupid. First off, that's stupid. Everything we can do is legal. We can do all of this stuff as long as we pretend or don't give credence to the second-hand market. Even though one Google search will give you eBay results. Like, what are we doing? What? If we pretend and we don't acknowledge it, everything's okay. That makes no sense. They should be able to say, we sell trading cards. They come in packs. It's not gambling, or maybe it is gambling, and we should do some more. Like, if they're selling, what happens if Wizards of the Coast existed for 30 years and no single card was ever valuable, and then on their 35th anniversary, all of a sudden people fell in love with the product, and now all of a sudden there became a collector fan base, and now all of a sudden a second market sprung up, and now all of a sudden their stuff is valuable. Like, my point is that, like, value is created out of thin air by human beings. So how do you apply all of this rules to a company that's existed for 30 years when their stuff did not become valuable until you're 35? Is it the same thing? Are they different? Should there be something? Should something be done? Is buying a pack of baseball cards, is buying a pack of Pokemon cards a gambling? The answer is no. And you want to know the real reason why it's no is because the Pokemon industry and the sports card industry is too small for governments to care. That's the truth. It's too small for anybody to give a shit about. But what happens? See, because what we're talking about right now is we're talking about NFTs, crypto in games. Like, what happens when a World of Warcraft, a RuneScape of the 90s, blows up with crypto in it? What happens if Axie Infinity had not had the issues that it had and it exploded for another 5 years? Like, all of a sudden, that is significantly large enough for countries to care about. And now we're going to have completely different situation. We're going to have completely different situation on what is gambling in video games. That's the truth. I mean, that's just the way the world works. It's too small for anybody to care. Accessing a blockchain game with an app who requires fingerprints can be a solution for bots. I mean, we already have. I already operate in an industry where you have to be able to provide social security numbers, electronic IDs, copies of passports, just to be able to file your taxes or be able to prove that your identity. And there's still fraud in that. You know what I mean? There's fraud everywhere.
Well, Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast, acknowledge that different Magic cards have different monetary values, then opening a pack becomes gambling, not purchasing collectible cards. Now, people will say, yeah, but you can buy, rare, expensive secret lair packs. You can buy these super expensive, limited edition packs. Yeah, but that's still not gambling because
That's the price of 5 cards. For any card, they're all valued the same in their mind.
You know exactly what you're going to get with that. Someone goes, yeah, well, why don't they just sell 15 rare land cards for £100?
They could do that.
They did. They had the From the Vault Realms collection. But all of those cards had different artwork, or they were foiled when they shouldn't have been, or they had different artists on them and stuff. And that means that it wasn't gambling, you were buying a
That means nothing!
And that's what it's about. It's
bro, like, people have collected. I mean, I get it. He's like putting someone else's perspective, but like, we human beings collect everything. Like that argument's weak. That argument is very, very, very weak.
Collector's items, not necessarily value of the cards. It's a very, very legal grey zone, which is why Jagex absolutely cannot actually acknowledge the value, the monetary value of any single given item.
There's another reason they wouldn't want to. Think about it like this. Let's say they add a new item, and it's the new best in slot, and it's trading for 1 bill, like $1 billion gold. That's like about £1,000, for example. If they acknowledge the real world value of that gold, and then they nerf the item a bit to bring it back in line with the rest of the stuff, they've just cost people in their minds £200 when the item value crashes.
Well, I mean,
they have
that also, like, what happens when certain cards are not allowed to be used in tournaments anymore? That crashes the value in something. I mean, every single thing, values fluctuating on every single thing, on utility, on scarcity, on collectability, on everything. And those things don't ever stay still. Those things change. Even the collectability aspect. If you dink a corner, or if it was miscut on the production line, that lowers the value. So, like, I mean, yeah.
Actively, like, sandbagged someone's investment, and that's when it becomes an absolute hazard that you just don't want to deal with.
If you're a shareholder in a company then one of that company's legal responsibilities to you is to make choices that increase the value of the shares you own. One of a company's guiding principles, especially in the UK, is the decisions the company directors and the company take must be beneficial for the shareholders. Now, not necessarily immediately, but they must be able to show a long-term benefit
They have a fiduciary
for
duty.
why that decision is being made. If you own shares in Jagex and you buy an item in-game for £1,000 and then the next day the item gets nerfed and the value drops to 50 million, have you as a shareholder lost value?
No, that's
Well, yeah,
ridiculous.
It's
No.
an in-game item that has an actual thing connected to it.
No,
and
because
an
you didn't
update
buy the
RuneScape
in-game
has
item, you
put
bought the
out has
shares of the
caused
company.
you to lose value in your account and the money that you own.
Yeah.
Could you then take that to
Are
a,
you-
take
are-
that to a court?
No, you
Could
can't
then
because
take
are
that
your
to the
items
ombudsman?
shares in the company? They're not. All right. See, this is what I'm talking about. The great drops. I love the drops from the Nether Demon. I mean, whenever you get something badass, like, I mean, I'll take it. But also, I kind of wish that there was more than just these ingots. But maybe it's just the player, the pool, and I haven't been able to get it yet. Let's see. Oh no, did I close the video? Oh man, I think I closed the video. Damn it. Well, I guess it should just say my spot. Let me load this back up. Let me see.
Take that to the ombudsman and say,
Okay, let's see. Because they have value, the time to get the items, gold, whatever, so's not whatever, so not the best point. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know where we're going. You know where we're going with this.
this company has made a decision that should cost me money as a shareholder. The thing is, the law isn't about who is...
What if the game releases a patch and that patch makes the game no longer quote unquote fun? Did that patch just reduce the value of your shares? Yes, it did. Is that something that you could take to court? No, you can't. Yeah, I mean,
black and white, right and wrong. It's about who can justify their position the best. And the more...
so what you're
subtle
saying is that it's
you make
subjective.
the positions, the easier it is
Just
to
like
justify
value.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's a complex thing. People have said, wouldn't
It
that
really
kill
is.
It
NFT
is.
games? Axie Infinity, you brought that up. Axie Infinity was the kind of NFT style game where you could own Axies and then you could rent them out to people who would play the game and
Yeah.
earn value, and then you as like a landlord would almost take some of the value, wouldn't it?
It's basically contracting work.
Yeah. Which
Yeah,
again, that's the play to earn game. And didn't they lose a load of money recently? Didn't they lose like
They lost
100?
all their money.
They did not
of it.
lose all
Right,
their
that's
money.
a couple
Yeah,
of 100 million,
the-
wasn't it?
I mean, they had so much money that they actually said that they would reimburse all the people that lost the money, and then they still have 300 plus million left.
$600 million. The entire wallet got emptied because of a vulnerability in the blockchain where... So, you know, it's kind of like a council thing where everyone has to agree on a transaction, or a majority does.
Yes.
They only needed 5 out of 7 votes to make a transaction go through. So somebody
Okay.
put in a false transaction to the liquidity pool, which is their whole savings,
Okay.
and they had enough bots on the network that essentially the stars aligned and they got all the votes passed out to them at like non-peak time.
Yeah, no, that's not what happened. Okay, so what happened was that in a patch from the end of the year, I believe, they had made it to where I believe the Rolling blockchain is operating on a proof of authority, which is where they're the owners of multiple wallets, and as long as those wallets as long as 5 out of the 9 wallets all agree that a certain transaction is valid, then it is. But whatever patch that they put in, I believe they opened it up to where it did not need to be all 5. And a hacker was able to get access to these wallets. I think it was through social engineering, and then be able to validate whatever transactions that they wanted. And in that case, what they did was they went ahead and stole all of those funds. So, yes, anybody of you that hadn't followed that, there you go.
And they just passed the transaction through.
So hang on, they used bots to. Right. It's decentralized, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
No,
you're
it's not.
giving people the.
No, it's not
You're
decentralized.
giving the community the power to
That's
make
why it got
decisions and as long as the majority of the community agree, the decision goes through.
No.
But that means it's possible.
There was 9 people. There was 9 wallets, if you want to call wallets people. There was 9 different ones that could validate transactions, and some one person or one group of hackers got access to a majority, and then were able to validate whatever they wanted.
Possible to brute force the amount of people in the community who are on your side.
Because you are them.
Wow. That's... Someone said, how does that work? Isn't that against the law? Well, no, because in crypto and NFTs, the whole thing is code is law. The blockchain doesn't have any moral compass. All the blockchain does is record stuff that happens.
And their only real law is 5 out of 7 clients that were picked need to agree on this transaction, and they did.
The guy that owns Axie Infinity has effectively just lost $600 million, hasn't he?
And guess what?
Oh yeah.
Now, that's not necessarily all his. That was value that was in the company and the game, but
Okay.
he was still effectively responsible for $600 million.
That's
Now-
the issue. So a liquidity pool is a pool that the blockchain can pull from at any time. So if you cash out of Axie, it comes out of the liquidity pool. So people couldn't cash out because there was nothing to cash out from.
To only reimburse half of the SLP? You mean half of the Ethereum, right? I actually think that they confirmed that it was going to be all of them, but I haven't checked up on that story. I haven't checked up. Now, saying versus doing is 2 different things, right? But from what I remember, they had said that they were going to be reimbursing all losses, but maybe that's incorrect and I missed an update on the story.
From.
When is this financialization, this monetization?
I normally
of
average like 300
hobbies
to 400 gold on this
gonna
run,
stop?
but I did hit like 6
When
something.
people try to monetize their hobby and realize
Okay, wait. When is monetizing your hobby going to stop? First off, it's been happening forever. And there's no reason for it ever to stop. Why? Why? I think it's because because where people put their time is where value truly exists. And you put your time in the things you love and are most passionate about. And people are always going to try to monetize that. Necro's in the house. What's going on, brother?
the blockchain can pull from at any time. So if you cash out of Axie, it
Am I
comes
about
out
to
of
get
the
clipped?
liquidity
No,
pool.
I'm going to get enough.
So people couldn't cash out because there was nothing to cash out from.
When is this financialization, this monetization of hobbies gonna stop?
Never.
When people
Baseball
try
cards.
to monetize their hobby and realize how shit that is. It's that simple because it stops being a hobby and becomes a job. It really does. Like YouTube again.
So, like, I mean, I don't know. I don't even know. Like, people just fear work, I guess. I mean, it's just a fear of, you know what? It's probably, I don't know. Maybe it's a fear of the way that the current structure of work is across the world. You know, I mean, if we go look back and we look about like all the labor strikes that have been happening and the unionization topics in video games, like all this is coming a bit back to work. And, you know, right now we're going through a huge financial crisis across the world. Of course, right now is the time to be reflecting on how much you make or how you make it or what you earn or how you earn it, you know? So, of course, we're going to be having these conversations right now. It's just, I don't know. It just is the way it is, I guess. Come on. Give me enough to get out of here. All right.
Perfect example. If you upload videos for fun, now I was never really in that camp because it took off so
Yeah,
quickly.
YouTubers, like, are
But
you working?
You can.
Are you having
probably
fun?
be able to vouch for this. You upload videos whenever you want, on whatever you want,
Yeah.
and it's fun. And then when money starts coming in, you realize, okay, this is what makes money doing this. I'm gonna have to follow that as long as I still find it somewhat enjoyable.
I am terrible at following analytics. So
And me.
I've made a lot of videos on a lot of MMOs, a lot of blockchain, a lot of cryptocurrency, a lot of old games and stuff. And when I make a video, people have sat me down and have said, Josh, you need to read your analytics. You need to look at Google Trends. You need to read your audience. You need to look at which thumbnails are working. You need to
I mean,
change
that does
your
separate
titles
the
to
better
improve stuff. And I
better
know that I need to do all
business
these
owners
things,
from the
and
worst.
I don't do any of them.
No.
Like, I make a video about a game that I'm interested in. I make one thumbnail, one title, put it up, premiere it, then forget about it, and then go make another one. I am really bad at that kind of stuff.
I have to say, I'm in the same boat with that. I make videos on what I want to. I don't stress too much about the thumbnails, and a lot of people will change the thumbnails over the next couple of days and see if any one picks up more traction than the other. I don't. As long as the video does well enough, I'm happy.
Yeah, I know that I'm leaving a lot of potential on the table. I know that.
So are you working or are you having fun?
The amount of
Oh wait,
companies
you're
that
doing
came over to
both?
me and said, hey,
You mean it is
sponsor
possible?
You know, can we'll put a logo on the thing and we'll give you a lot of money for it. And I said, okay, what do you do? And they're like, oh, we do this. And I said, I don't use those. I'm sorry, but I can't take a sponsorship from a company that I don't necessarily use myself. I would feel wrong doing it. So I know that
You can
I
feel whatever you
suck
want
when it comes to optimization of content. But at the same time, I don't want that stress of trying to optimize.
Then you don't have to do it. So what you're saying is that you don't want your hobby that you're having fun to become too much like work. Then don't make it too much like work. Yeah, Mr. Beast is growing so fast because he's studied this for years. Like, I mean, huge. I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously suited. I don't have enough silk. That's weird. Hold on, sorry guys, because I was going to turn in this. Wow, I only have 5? Okay, that's weird. Did not expect that. Okay, so good morning Twitch, says Necro.
I just want to make content people like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. And I think this is why a lot of YouTubers get burnt out.
So are you having fun or are you
They
working?
start off doing what's fun. They tailor it to the algorithm and realize, oh, I'm getting a lot of money now. This is fun. But when you keep doing it, it just becomes work. And then you're like, okay, I want to go back to doing something a bit more fun. I'm going to do this crazy video that's a bit different. And then you feel bad because it's not paying your bills anymore.
Yeah.
So wait. So you can't have it both ways, bro. You can't want to just have fun and not worry about money, but then you're no longer having fun because you're not making money. What you're telling me is that in your mind, both exist. You're always wanting to have fun and you're always wanting to make money. Like, both can exist at the same time. Why can't I change the quantity of my items? Oh, it's a sell. My bad. That's why. Let me buy this really quick so we can turn this in. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's see. Hellbringer build. What's the Hellbringer build? Have you tried the Hellbringer build in Necropolis? I don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's
that simple.
Have you ever felt guilty for playing a game in your free time and not making content?
You
out
can't do a job that you enjoy or you break the
Do you know what? I was
simulation.
thinking about this yesterday.
The funny thing is, like, they're literally talking about like the financialization of your hobbies, and they're also talking about how they're making money from their hobbies. Now, if this is their full-time job, then their hobby is their job. So it's like, it's both.
I play a game and I'm like, oh, this would be good YouTube content. And then I have to keep saying, no, Callum, this is fun you time. This is mess about and have fun, not work time.
For anyone on the chat right now, this is a really weird thing. And I know it's as first world problem as you can possibly go. You know, we're not complaining. We're just explaining the mental
I kind of
thought
said that a
process
little
to it.
bit earlier, that these are first world problems.
When I was sat downstairs playing Elden Ring, part of me thought, I really should be playing this on the PC. I should be recording it. I should be taking notes. I should be.
I think he's talking about the psychological phenomenon by which people enjoy activities less when they go from extrinsic to intrinsic enjoyment. I mean, that is exactly what he's talking about. My thing is that we don't know how to describe, or we don't know how to accurately portray this no, not the value. We can't accurately describe the intrinsic versus the intrinsic levels of enjoyment. Like we can't, like it's not the same for everyone. It's not always the same for you. It always changes, right? So my thing is that if we can acknowledge that that always changes, then we should also be able to acknowledge that it exists and is always changing in all things that we do. So why does it have to be one way for some things and another way for other things? Big money build? What's the big money build? Deathly Hallows DK Crawley Mask? No, I haven't. Mostly because I don't want to be running with 25% HP. I mean, I could, but I don't really think. I mean, I could test it, but I don't really think. I think that should be enough. No, that's definitely not enough. Let's see. Okay, so I think what we're gonna do, guys, here. Let's see. I got a few more minutes. We're gonna finish this video
and
for
then
sure before we
when
call
I
it a day.
realised that no, I'm enjoying this. I'm playing this. I'm having fun. It's really strange that when you bring in the financialization of anything, when you aren't making money off it, doing it feels like you're missing out. Feels like a waste.
FOMO?
And I'm super scared that this financialization of games, this monetization of play, is going to start seeping into the way that.
Why would you be afraid of that when that's already been happening, and we haven't seen it, and we've gotten to where we've gotten today? Like it existed with Pokemon, it existed with RuneScape, it existed with WoW. Like, what is it about now that's making you so afraid? Like, why weren't you afraid earlier? And if you're gonna say that now that cryptocurrency has the tool set to be able to allow for the either experimentation or the progression of those systems, then I would say like, yeah, it does. And I'm excited for that. And if you're not excited for that, that's okay too. There are going to be plenty of games that you will continue to support the systems that were previously created. It's the old ways are not going to go away. Is there going to be change? Yes, there's going to be change. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, the more change that occurs, the more incentivized someone else is going to be to make the game like the old ways used to be. You know? So, I mean, I guess if you're afraid that you're not going to have enough games to play that you like, I guess that's the main fear, that you're not going to have the games that you enjoy playing, but that you're not going to have those games anymore. And all I can tell you to that is that at this point in time, we're having more games being created across the world than ever before. Games are rich to be found on Steam, on Xbox, on PlayStation, on itch, on, you know, anywhere you go looking for it, you can find games. On the iPhone, I haven't even talked about mobile, you know? So, like, why are you afraid about things changing when there's so much quantity? Like, we're talking about how gamers are consistently buying games to add to their catalog and never playing them. Like, we have an overabundance of video games to play. Now, we may not have an overabundance of specific genres that you enjoy, like for your niche, and you want to be serviced and you want to be able to get the game that appeals to you. And if you're afraid of that, then maybe there's something to be afraid of there. Maybe you're no longer going to get some of the games that we used to get anymore. But like the reasons that we're no longer getting those games aren't just because of this evolution with this new technology. You see what I'm saying? It's not the simple only factor. I guess I could sell those. Oh yeah, wait, did I already get everything for the quest? Oh, and I made arrows. I didn't engineer anything. Duh, I was just making arrows. So let's go here and let's get some sticks. And we'll run this a couple times. So let's go.
You know, kids and young people see games, and it will get to a point now where, because young people are super easy to, you know, influence in any possible way. They pay attention to adverts all the time. You tell a kid now that not only can they play a game, they can earn money while playing the game.
But the
10
kids don't
years
have the
from
same
now,
amount of
are they
value
gonna play a game where
value
they
and
don't
money
earn
as adults do.
The more I think about that, actually, my opinion on that may change because we already have that now. We just don't realize it. Let's take
Thank
RuneScape
you.
again as another example. Gold sellers, right? There's a portion of the players that are playing it to play it, to have fun. And there is a portion of players that are playing it purely to make money. They don't...
Stop. You keep that entire sentence the same, but still put the feature in about playing it to make money as is also a sense of them having fun. Like both exist. Okay? So you can have fun. Like I have fun going to the like I can log into Lost Relics and be in the blockchain emporium and be looking at items, looking at what's selling, what's not. Like I just came from a sports card show. I'm gonna go again to Dallas this weekend and set up at one of the biggest shows of in the U.S. Like, a 3-day long show. Like I'm having fun in the wheeling and dealing. That pleasure exists, and a lot of people enjoy that. Now you might not see the value there, and that's okay, but it exists, and it's always existed, especially with video games.
don't find any enjoyment in the game.
Oh man, I clicked out of it again.
Take
Sorry.
that to the
Hold on, guys.
ombudsman and
Ah,
say this
shoot.
company has made a decision that should cost me money as a
Hold
shareholder.
on, I think I have to find our place again.
Was that created that. Okay, we've got lots of IPs now.
Nope.
The last MMORPG that I can imagine was made by committee to a boring,
Sorry guys, hold on, I lost
emotionally
my place.
vapid meta because it brings in a very similar predatory style as
Players that want to play it for fun and spend money. Because it has to be a cycle, right? This money it to play it, to have fun.
Okay, here we go.
when they play a game. They can earn money while playing the game. 10 years from now, are they going to play a game where they don't earn money?
The more I think about that, actually,
I mean,
my opinion on that
yeah.
may change because we all...
What you're telling me is that in one game you have the option to play for fun or play and earn, and in another game you only have the option to play for fun. Like, isn't the thing that gives you more options the thing that's going to be more accepted? And that's what we've been saying forever about like crypto games. Like, this is going to be the future, but no, it is not going to be all video games, guys. It's going to be huge, and I wouldn't be surprised if it turns into like this like League of Legends, Dota 2, where like there's like two or three games of a certain genre at the top that lead crypto gaming forward. Or maybe it's a bunch of indie games that continue to grow. I don't know. Like, we're going to have to see how it goes. Ghost Car says, kids playing a game and earning money to buy another game, that would be a very bad thing. Necro says, yep, I think it's generally merching in these games. I mean, I think merching is fun, bro. I enjoy it. Dr. Bigo says, are your cards graded or mostly non-graded? So I mostly have both. Both graded and non-graded. When I tend to enjoy purchasing more because I think I have a better eye than most. So I like to purchase raw more, and I'll trade to go to graded. Unless there's just a hell of a deal, I'll take what I can get, But yeah, I have my whole thing on grading. I mean, I definitely don't think it's going away. Yeah, my own thing. Oh, we finished this bounty. I want to finish this video. We still have half. I don't want to log off yet. So let me keep going then. Let me get my loadout while we listen to this, and we'll keep going real fast.
Already have that now. We just don't realize it. Let's take RuneScape again as another example. Gold sellers, right? There's a portion of the players that are playing it to play it, to have fun. And there is a portion of players that are playing it purely to make money.
And
They
have
don't find
fun.
any enjoyment in the game. But they are feeding in to the players that want to play it for enjoyment and don't mind dropping a few dollars every day or month. So I guess we already have that. I think
Thank
they're
you.
just going about advertising it wrong because they are only advertising it to the players that want to earn, that want to work.
Well, I mean, why would they advertise it to the traditional gamers? You guys have been shitting on it for the past few months. Why would you think that the company would be incentivized to advertise it to you when you've just been shitting on the game? Oh man, hold on. Let me go to here. I guys, can you help me out? I never know how to I don't know how to save my loadouts. Son of a mother, this is what I just did. Okay, hold on. First, let's just turn this in, and then oh yeah. If I hit Shift or control? Hold on. Shift? No, not shift. It's control. Is it shift or control? Oh, no. Shift and left click. It gives you the items that you need for the quest. Sweet. Shift and left click.
But without the players that want to play it for fun and spend money, because it has to be a cycle, right? This money doesn't come from nowhere.
Yeah, you've got to have people buying.
Let's say you're a player that wants to play this new game for fun, and I'm a player that wants to play it for money. We both have to exist for each of us to benefit from it, right?
Yes. There has to be a market.
That's what it's going to be, but they're advertising it so...
There has to be a buyer and a seller. A willing participant to sell, a willing participant to buy. Both have to exist for a market to exist.
Solely to the people that will make money, but they can't make money unless someone is spending it. And if they're there to make money, they're not going to be the one spending it.
I watched.
And guess what? If they're still making money and they're not the one spending it, that means that other people are willing to pay for that thing that they want. That means the market exists. That means that if you're a traditional gamer that's like all these NFTs, blah blah blah, all this, real money transactions in games like are bad, and there's very little of it, or like I don't know what you're. If you don't think it exists in a big way, then how are the people that are there already making money? Who are they selling to? Who's paying them? If you're saying that the money doesn't come out of nowhere, it's got to come from somewhere. Where's it coming from? It's coming from other gamers that you are not taking into consideration, that are willing to pay some of these things for their own specific reasons. And now we get into the huge conversation about like, why are people spending this money? Like, what enjoyment do you get out of it? Like right now, so like when I'm playing Lost Relics and when I'm playing the market in Lost Relics and I'm trying to figure out like, what are the things I want to own? What are the things I want to buy? What do I want to invest in? What do I want to hold? What do I want to dump? When I'm thinking about these things, like what I'm thinking about is, hey, 2 months down the line, 2 years down the line, what are players going to want? What do players think? What do they feel? And those are the questions to answer. And the truth is, I have no clue. I have no clue what people are going to want in the future or not want. I think I have a better understanding than most, but no one's ever really going to know. You know what I mean? Hold on, I got distracted because I got to click another bounty. Hood Goblins, I think is a good one. Fire Strikes. Fire Strikes are in Mount, right? I could go there again. Fire Strikes are pretty good. I'll do that one next. Okay, so what were we saying? I was on a good train there and I got distracted. We're talking about selling, people wanting, not wanting stuff, wanting stuff. What did I say? Well, in other words, like we were talking about the market. Let me maybe this
video on. I think most people have watched it. It's got so many views. The
line go up.
Process behind Roblox creation.
Oh yeah.
That's
another fascinating one, guys. Roblox, again, digital labor, but from a different perspective. Now, it's user-generated content. And what is that going to play in the future of games and in the future of crypto?
Messages every single day asking me to play either Minecraft MMORPGs or Roblox MMORPGs, and the reason I avoid them both is the moment I put that content up on the channel, not only will my advertising demographics switch heavily, I will never ever stop being bombarded with messages of, oh, I see you play Roblox games, play my game. I see you play Minecraft mods, play my Minecraft mod. I'm scared to open that floodgate.
I mean, but the funny thing is that like it's a little hypocritical because like when he just came back talking about like algorithms and the Google YouTube search and making sure that he's the one that he doesn't do a good enough job to be able to make sure that he gets himself out there to everyone. But that's literally what other people are doing in these other games. Like it's what everybody's doing. That's why marketing and advertising exist.
And Minecraft content creation, making stuff in the game, seems to follow a very similar predatory style as the gaming industry in general. It's full of passionate people, and their passion is taken advantage of.
How?
Yes. There was a big scandal around
like that's
this
okay. Like,
with,
does it exist? Does that scenario exist? Yes, it does. It does. There are people that are getting abused and taken advantage of in the video game industry. My question is, what are the things in that are related to that we can define, and then what can we do to help improve the system? You know, and then you're going to be shocked when I say, hey, some of the NFT technology solutions could help improve this stuff, but you know, it is what it is.
Roblox, you've probably seen the video where they were actually asked to take the video down because they'd exposed this whole ring of just milking developers for money that was going to random people that just don't work. You know, they just lounge around the house and direct people. And then when they've got one big mod under their belt, well, they can just get another and another, and they don't do anything. They just underpay actual developers. I think there was an artist. Now, Roblox art isn't the best, but you still have to put the effort in and know the art skills, right? There was an artist that was being paid something like 22 pence an hour to, like, a 13-year-old
Well,
kid.
the funny thing is, like we're just talking about markets here, man. Like, yeah, there's gonna be one kid that's making a huge amount of money, but that's not the definition of the market as a whole. And like, your argument is that one kid should then define the market, and that's what I don't really feel. Like, that's what I don't agree with.
Being paid 22 pence an hour to work full time.
It's disgusting, isn't it? I mean,
It
and
is.
it's the same as, you know, we'll pay you an exposure. Oh, you want to work for us because then you'll be seen as big in the industry, you'll be seen as important and stuff like that. Gaming is a passion-driven industry, and unfortunately, a lot of kids want to get into the gaming industry, and so they will let the industry take advantage of them, and they will do what they are told is good.
Sounds like any entry-level job to me.
We're going to get to a point now, or we're starting to push toward a point where the passion of gaming, of YouTubing, of Twitch streaming becomes so efficiency-based. You know when you play an MMORPG?
We everything humans do is trying to be more efficient. Just because we min-max in video games doesn't mean that we don't do that in the rest of our lives. Like, that's human nature. That's human nature to try to make everything more efficient. That's just what we do. Like, if you don't like the way it's being done, like, I don't know what to tell you, man.
And you enjoy it because you don't know much about it, and you just make bad decisions, and you play how you want, and then you learn the meta, and you learn the best rotation, the best items, the best this, the best that. Do you think we're starting to get to the meta of our lives based on financial benefits?
No, dude, it's the other way around. It's you're thinking it backwards. The meta has always existed. When you were in school, you were trying to do whatever you could do to get better grades or whatever. Like, when you were playing sports, you were trying, as a kid, you were trying to do whatever you could do to win the game. Like, we've always been going through this process of self-improvement, like growing from our mistakes, learning. That applies to everything. That doesn't apply to money. Okay? What we do is that because money exists and because value exists, we do that naturally. We try to always, everybody wants to get the better job where they work less and get paid more. Everyone wants to be the guy or the girl that gets rewarded for, I lost what I was trying to say there. You pretty much want to be the person that, you're able to earn something back for the work that you did, and whatever you earn back, you want to make sure that you get the most you possibly could. Like, that's everybody.
Games to a boring, emotionally vapid meta because it brings in the most money.
Maybe what this is just like gamers learning about the world. Gamers learning about the world from their own perspectives, obviously. But like, if you've been playing games all your life, like a lot of us have, like, your very first intuition about solving problems comes from the things you've learned in games. So if you're trying to use the things you've learned from games and applying it to the real world, like, yeah, I can see how you get it backwards, but it actually works the other way around, Let me see. If you're willing to work for shit pay, that's your choice. Sometimes yes and sometimes no. It's hard because sometimes you don't have very many options, Sometimes like you're willing to make that sacrifice, and sometimes you're forced into making that sacrifice. Ooh, well, I guess that was a good TP. I didn't mean to do that. Wake up, Globies. It's getting sad. Everyone wants to work less and earn more. It makes sense. Like, that's just natural. Like, everyone wants to win the lotto if you could. Everyone wants to retire early if you could. But, you know, just because everybody wants to doesn't mean that that's what happens, right? 99%, not everyone. These combos are going to get interesting once competitive NFT games come out. Yeah, it is. It really is. You know, I would, I've thought a lot about competitive games too with crypto. And I don't know, it's going to be interesting from the perspective of like seeing how these different models adapt, because I think we're probably going to default into like the traditional sports type of competitions, but with crypto, it doesn't have to be that way. So then we're going to see it evolve, I think. It's going to be really weird and interesting and experimental to see it all play out. Anything that takes your time and attention can be monetized. I didn't know what's new. I don't know what's new with NFT games. Like, yeah, like, honestly, I think a lot of these conversations could be, I think we could get to a lot more concise perspectives on topics if we all just agreed, like, hey, rather than talking about how much money you can earn, rather than putting value into money, let's just talk about time. Can we talk about time, like, and what video games get, what the value that video games get out of video games from time related items or issues, like paying $60 for a 50-hour game, you know, paying $60 for a 4-hour game, you know, paying someone for an NFT that takes hundreds of hours to grind, paying someone for gold that took thousands of hours to obtain, you know, like time, you know the saying, time is money. Time is value. All value comes back to time, because time is the one thing that we can more easily understand, because we have such a limited supply of it. Anything? Wait, life isn't fair? Question mark. Yep, shocking news. Life isn't fair.
Absolutely, yeah, 100%. I think you've hit it spot on there.
Are we min-maxing life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. If
We've
you're
been
not
doing
saving
that.
time, then the thing you're doing has to be making money, right? Like that's kind of what we've got to now with gaming.
So yeah, you're pretty much saying,
Let's
like,
go
how
in
are
the
you
chat.
spending
Just
your time?
put, the former JMod Matt K says
Your time is valuable.
people are starting to
when
look
you
at
getting
the
return for that time.
science of game making as opposed to the passion and the art
And that's
of
clear.
game making.
That is like abundantly clear. In fact, Matt K is an amazing person to hang out in his stream. I mean, we raid him quite often. He's a super nice guy.
He's funny on Twitter as well. He's really funny on Twitter.
I don't know what I think about that one.
He's a bit of a comedy.
I think that was a really good one. That game developers are thinking more about people are thinking more about the science of video game development than the art of video game development. So, like, that's a really good one. I'm one of the, maybe it's because of just my personal perspective, I'm actually one of the believers that art and science aren't as separate as most people give it credit for. But I get where they're coming from. What they're trying to say is, like, how you make a game and what that game does is more important than how that game makes you feel, pretty much. So if we were to dumb it down, I guess we're having the argument about playing a game for fun versus playing a game for other reasons. Like, games aren't fun anymore because you're working in them or you're doing work or whatever. I mean, I definitely disagree with that, but does that mean that developers are not considering the art in their games more than they're considering the science of, I guess, their mechanics or their economies? Maybe it's just because, like, we're taking such a big emphasis on in-game economies. I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think about that one? That one kind of throws me for a loop, to be honest. As opposed to making games and getting people hooked on gameplay. But isn't I don't know. I think that's kind of like the art of it. Because if you get people hooked on gameplay, you're getting them hooked on what feels good. You're getting them hooked on what. Isn't that the art of it? Like, I get. Okay, maybe that's the other thing. Like, I'm thinking of art not in terms of like pixels and shading. I'm thinking of art as in the art of producing, the art of doing, the art of like, the art of business, like the art of, you know, I'm not thinking of like art in terms of like what you see, what you only see. And maybe they are. Maybe they are.
Genius, but
Yeah.
like he's been in the gaming industry a long time, so he's watched this happen as well.
Yeah.
I said this in one of our devlogs. Game development, like games being built backwards, right? RuneScape, another good example. They made a game that was fun, passionate, between three brothers. They just wanted to make something that they wanted to play, and guess what? Other people wanted to play it because it was something that was fun. The last thing they thought about was monetizing it.
Well, the problem isn't that. The problem is that the people that play the game have changed. Now everybody wants AAA style graphics and development and art sounds and multiplayer and everything. No one would be playing RuneScape right now in its first iteration if it came out alongside Call of Duty and alongside, you know, all these other games, you know, Apex, Fortnite. I'm only naming shooters here. BioShock. It wouldn't draw the amount of attention. Lost Ark, World of Warcraft. If it came out today, it wouldn't be drawing the same amount of attention as it did before. I mean, that's just inherently true. The people that play games have changed from back then to now. Okay? What was so fascinating back then was that it was like a multi-user dungeon, like RuneScape. Anyone that could be playing the game and talking with anyone else that's in the server at the same time. Granted, you could also, see them as well. I guess I have to take the coal, so I'll take that. So yeah, like if people are now requiring, like if people that are playing Red Dead and playing all these huge games, if they want to continue to play those things can't happen unless the funding is there to support it, because it takes 5 years of hundreds of people staff and contracting out and quality assessment and marketing and budgeting and everything to be able to make those projects even exist. So like what ended up happening is that gamers came in and said, we love this stuff. Give us more, give us more, give us more. And what happened? The industry said, okay, for more, we need stronger graphics cards. We need stronger tools. We need stronger online systems. We need better servers. We need better X, Y, Z. All of those things, the video game industry pushed forward. There's no fire strikes in Mount Olkep, so that was a bad run. Where are there fire strikes? Are there no fire strikes? How are there none in legendary maps? There's none in mythical either? Are they in legendary? Oh, there's some here. I could go down to legendary. Well, I don't know. Like, I'd have to do this. There are lots there? Okay, let's go to Archive. Excuse me. Opposed to making people getting hooked on the game. Being financially predatory shouldn't come first in development. Like, what is, like, Mokoko, like, first off, we both agree that there are projects that are financially predatory. We both agree on that. But what we definitely won't agree on is to what degree does something become predatory? Like, there is no line in the sand, right? Like, there's no line in the sand. It's subjective. Okay. So my question to you is, if a game, in order to make a game, well, I don't know, is pay to win? I mean, I would argue with that. You're saying that predatory is pay to win. I don't think predatory is pay to win. I think pay to win is a new reaction to gamers wanting to be able to put financial resources into these digital worlds. People are willing to pay for gold. People are willing to pay for the WoW token. People are willing to pay for skins, for hats, for weapons. Like people are willing to pay for unlocking extra equipment slots. Like they're willing to put money into these games. And what happens when the developers understand that this is something that the players want to do, I think pay to win comes out of that process. You know, if no one wanted to see, the thing is that like I think a lot of gamers think that if you're not playing for free, they think that free to play is the majority of gamers, which is probably the truth. But I think it's more like 70-30, and I think they think it's more like 95-5. And because it's so big, you have to be able to monetize your games if you're going to be able to build them out. These games don't get built without money. It's that simple. You know what I'm saying? You feel me there a little bit? If I change to S7, it changes too, right? If I do this and hit override, does it override it? Yes, it does. So then if I go here, equip this, do this, override? Yes, it does. Okay, so now let's go down to legendary, and let me change to my legendary set so we can go into that map, and then we will go from there. Okay, there we got my tools. Okay, so I just got to change a couple of relics really quick. I guess we're gonna go here, and I guess we're gonna go with. I go Mark of the True. I can just go Mark of the True. I guess we could go there for the extra regen. Yeah, just go like this. Okay, so what were we gonna say? What were we saying? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think pay to win is predatory. I think. Yeah, I just don't. There's plenty of games that I think pay to win is a subsection of gaming that will exist. I think it's culturally based. I mean, I think this is the reason why we see, Southeast Asia being more acceptive of pay to win games. Actually, like there are more players in those areas of the world that prefer to play pay to win games than prefer to play traditional games. So like, what does that say? Are they wrong? Are we wrong? My answer is that we're both right for different reasons, and we both like different things. You know what I mean? Pay to win is predatory. There's basically a line that we've crossed to make pay to win into predatory practices. Let me take a look here really quick and pop this in the YouTube. I'll probably watch this later. Pocketgamer.biz. Ooh, I like this. Okay, cool. I'm gonna definitely check that out a little bit later. Thank you, my friend. They mostly go over strategies in mobile game conferences. Oh yeah, so I watched that too. Like talking about monetization, talking about it's like first off, like every business does this. Walmart does psychological studies on, hey, where should they put their milk to be able to drive sales. Like all we're doing is we're trying to figure out, hey, how do people think? You know what I mean? Now, if it's predatory, I think it's predatory if the process is addictive in its nature. And now we're going to get into a new conversation about, are video games addictive and what makes video games addictive? And that's a whole nother topic. So like this is why I acknowledged at the very beginning. Are there predatory practices in video games? Hell yes, there is. Do I think pay to win is one? Not by itself, depending on how it's implemented. But I do think that pay to win is a subset of gaming that will continue to grow, and we're going to be paying. I think we should be paying close attention to how it grows and why it grows that way. Is all I'm trying to say. Depends on what you mean by predatory. Exactly. Like to some it will be, to some it won't be. So that's why it's so difficult. But I still think we are able to maybe put it in a box. We'll see. I don't know.
There were times where they were at an absolute loss because they were buying servers that they couldn't afford, but they wanted to keep the game running. and now look how successful it's been. But then you've
Yeah,
got
but
other
what did they
games
do?
where-
What did they do when the game was at a loss and they were like about to go bankrupt? They decided they changed the entire monetization strategy and charge everybody a membership. Like that is a response to gamers saying we want more. We want to keep playing this game. In order to pay this game, it costs money. In order to get that money, we have to charge players.
where the first board meeting discussion they have at this game is, right, what's going to make us the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of effort?
There's an old saying.
No,
a
that's for
camel is a
AAA
horse
corporate.
designed by-
That is the discussions that they're having probably at the largest AAA corporate video game companies. Okay, they only put out 20, 40 AAA games a year. Steam has a launch of 50 games a day. Okay, so that is not all of gaming. That's the biggest form of gaming. And if you only want to talk about the biggest form of gaming, then I don't know what to tell you. Like, then yeah, you're not going to get the games that you want in AAA level. Like, because they can't fund you. They can't give you what you want. I would love to be able to gas up my tank for $1.50, but I ain't going to get that nowhere. You know what I mean? Like, and this is why I went electric. Let's see here.
a committee. And what this tends to mean
Yeah,
is
no,
if you have a
membership isn't pay to win, but membership is a form of monetization. Is what I was trying to say there.
large amount of people discussing on the best way to move forward with a project, all of them will put a small amount of things in, and eventually all of their ideas will be taken because they're all good individually, and then something will be created. I think when you have a committee or a board members team making something, it ends up feeling very corporate, corporate, and very fake and very soulless.
I
And you
mean, the
can
largest
see,
video
you can
games of the
feel
past 20 years have all been made that way. Like, do you think that all those games feel corporate? I mean, I didn't really hear anybody complaining when, BioShock Infinite was up for Game of the Year nominations. I really didn't hear anybody complaining when, I don't know. Yeah, it just can't be applied all across the board.
the difference. The last MMORPG that I can imagine was made by committee was New World.
And yeah, that is a prime example of a game just going south from the get-go.
I think
don't know
New
that
World was a load of people, a load of actual, big tech industry people, a lot of big business who sat down and went, right, what is the best way we can possibly make an MMORPG? And they created that. To put it into the whole passion thing, have you seen John Wick, the film? You know
Yeah,
who made
love it.
John Wick?
No?
A bunch of stuntmen. A bunch of stuntmen basically said, we want to make a film that pays homage to the job of the stuntman.
Those
And they
stuntmans
nailed
were
that.
all
They did.
involved
They
in a
said, right,
corporation.
let's get stuntmen in. We're going to get a stuntman scriptwriter. We're going to get a stuntman director. We're going to get all the
what are we
stuntmen
talking
involved
about?
possibly, and we're going to find.
You're just
an
talking about
actor who
passion.
will actually-
You're just he's just talking about passion. He's not talking about anything that has to do with any type of corporate structure. He's just talking about people, that they're doing it to make. They're not doing it to make money. They're doing it for the love of doing it, which is good. Like that exists, and that will continue to exist.
actually learn how to do all of the stunts, and Keanu Reeves was straight there. John Wick is a film written by stuntmen.
Well, let me see. My bad. Membership isn't pay to win. Are these blokes talking about all NFT games, or are they talking about LR in specific sometimes? They're just talking about NFT games. I don't even think they know about Lost Relics. Gaming in general. Okay, yeah. I've heard a lot of responses that feel... Oh, hold on a second. My bad. Gotta kill these little guys. These little guys are nasty. I've heard a lot of responses that feel like it's towards Lost Relics, so I wonder why. Yeah, that's why I think Lost Relics is such a interesting game to play and follow as a community, is because like we're literally like in the middle of all of it, like being washed around this huge whirlpool as it all happens.
About stuntmen, about the job of being a stuntman, and it's freaking brilliant. You can tell that was made out of pure love and passion and heart. And I was smiling all the way through John Wick. I thought, this is brilliant. This is pure passion.
I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah. And you know what film that I didn't really care much about? any of the new Star Wars films.
I have to agree. I watched them and I was like, they're okay as a thing to watch. Wouldn't watch them again. In fact, I haven't watched them again.
I didn't feel any love.
Both were made by
No
corporations.
passion. I didn't feel. I felt that it was very science and not very art, which was a shame.
Yeah. In fact, I can tell you what the boardroom meeting was that created that. Okay, we've got lots of IPs now. Which one's going to make a lot of money? Star Wars is really popular right now. Should we chuck out a Star Wars film?
Yeah.
They don't have to build a franchise. It's already there.
Yeah.
Let's just, like it's an exit strategy almost. Like, let's milk it while it's going.
Here's an example, and we will get onto the Twitter thing in a second because it's a big thing. But here's an example that I actually use whenever I'm teaching people about film or art or emotion in general. Have you seen the first Pirates of the Caribbean film?
I have, yes.
Have you seen the
Yes,
third Pirates of the Caribbean film?
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay, so third Pirates film, massive battle.
Pay to win is when something is locked behind a paywall. Like DLC is pay to win? No. I don't even think if you were to get 20 people... I don't even think if you were to get all the people that are viewing this right now and everybody give their definition of what pay to win is, nobody would agree. There would be like a common through line, but that would be it. Everyone would have vastly wide opinions on what pay to win is. Some people say pay to win is when you have to pay for a membership. Some people say is when you have to buy, like, if you pay something, you get an advantage in multiplayer. Some people say it's just like, there's no such thing. It's just, it is a reaction to gamers not wanting to pay money, is what it is. And that's okay. That's fine. But, like, not all games have to be like that. You know what I mean?
By a huge vortex in the sea.
It's not subjective? You don't think pay to win is subjective? Let me just come in here and put what? I'm going to Google what is pay to win. Let's see where the first things pop up. Okay, here we go. Got it. What is the definition of pay to win? Let's see. Where are we? Where we are? Oh, this was not a good one. I thought that was going to be a good one. Let's see. What is the definition of pay to win? Okay, here we go. Pay to win is grinding for gear, paying for grinding or gear in video games. Paying to win is paying for an advantage in multiplayer events. Pay to win is locked behind an advertisement. I don't know how you cannot be subjective, bro. Like, I can understand your argument if you're saying that a specific thing is pay to win. And then we can all talk about that one thing about whether or not it's pay to win. But like pay to win in general, no, man. So many people make 100 different arguments about it, left and right. People think that if you have to pay a membership to play certain levels in the game, that is pay to win, and I just completely disagree. Like, I don't think that is pay to win. Clash of Clans, where you have to pay for X amount of energy or to be able to get certain units in your game, to be able to, in competitive sense, that's pay to win. You know what I mean? Let's see. Being able to pay to gain an advantage. Yeah, being able to play to gain an advantage. Obviously, it's a spectrum in terms of severity. Yeah, exactly. But like exactly. I agree with that completely. If there's an item that gives you an advantage and is locked behind a payroll, then that is pay to win, and it has to. Hold on. And has where meant until wait. Behind a payroll, that's what pay to win has always meant until recently. Well, look, if it's until recently, then what you're saying that it is that it's changed. So if it's changed, it's subjective because things have changed. You know? Being able to pay to gain an advantage from Don BJ. Being able to pay to gain an advantage is to pay to win. Obviously, it's a spectrum of severity. Yeah, we read that one. Let's see. Canada says LR is hella pay to win. People can disagree. Hold on, I gotta kill these guys. I thought I was swinging an X. Let's see. Wait. Where is it? Galar is hella pay to win. People can disagree, but my 28-hour grind for a legendary relic says otherwise. What do you mean? You hit a 28 after 28 hours? You hit a lost relic, a legendary, or you didn't hit? So like if we wanted to talk about like lost relics and pay to win, like. I think it has a function, obviously has a function of both, right? Because players can... See, the problem is that, like, who are you paying? Like, you're paying other players in the economy, right? So, like, you're not paying the company. So if you're paying other players, is it pay to win? If you're paying the company, is it pay to win? If you're saying that you can pay for an item that comes from another player that earned it for free, is it free for that player, but pay to win for another player? And if so, does that make it pay to win for everything? Like, you see what I'm trying to say? Is like, if all of the items in the game were free, like, but if the first 400 people that played Lost Relics that started earning items and then sold those items, for those 400, the game is not pay to win. For everybody else after that, it is pay to win? Or is it pay to win because it allows you to sell? Even if the things that you sell, you got for free. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like yes. Like, if you wanted to say, like, flatly, can you buy an item that makes you more powerful in Lost Relics? The answer is yes. What that means in terms of pay to win, I think is subjective. I think some people will agree on the spectrum that it's like hardcore yes. Some will agree on the spectrum that it's just that it's very little yes. Some people will say no. I would say that in a digital world in which you have to be able, in a digital world where you're allowed to buy and sell items, an economy will exist. If an economy exists, just because you have the right to buy something, I don't think that makes it automatically pay to win, even though I think there can be elements in which pay to win exists. So, like, for example, like, if you're paying to buy an item to run maps, like, what are you winning? If you're paying for a loadout to run Mount Olkep, like, what are you winning? Because your drop rates are the same as the other people that are running legendaries. Well, I mean, we don't really technically know drop rates and stuff like that, but you know what I mean. Like, the general idea here is that, like, if you're playing maps at a certain tier, you can find any items. You can find shadow stones. You can find a transcendence. I think a transcendent, the last one was found in an epic map or whatever. But like, so like, what are you winning? So like, we're already having a vague, like, what are you winning discussion. Now, if Lost Relics was PvP and everything else was the same, like there was no like balancing and it was just the way it was, then yeah, I would definitely say like, yeah, if you buy an item, you go into PvP and you win because of it. Yeah, it's pay to win. I get it. But I also think I think we're going to have some weird conversations about pay to win in these. Whoa, why am I doing what? I just came into Mount Olkev with the wrong loadout and I didn't even know it. Let's get out of here. Okay. Hold on. It's becoming illegal in more and more places for predatory pay to win and gambling practices. Yeah. I mean, why did my health just go down to 0? That's weird. Is that like a penalty for leaving the dungeon? Well, that's interesting. Is that a bug or is that happening for everybody? Maybe that's just the way it is. I've actually never TP'd out before. Yeah, that's the way it is? Okay, cool. It's becoming illegal in more and more places in predatory pay to win and gambling practices. And like, yeah, I mean, it should be, but I mean, I don't even think we know how to define these video games in general. Like, we don't even know how to define what cryptocurrency is. Like how are we going to know if we're rightly defining what video games are that use cryptocurrency? How can you earn something if everyone in the game is playing for free, but no need to buy better items? How can you earn something if everyone in the game is playing for free with no need to buy better items? How can you earn? Like, what do you mean? Like, if if there was no buying or selling if there was no buying or selling of items, if there was no buying or selling of items, but like shadow stones dropped, that would be an earn. And then you would say like, but where do the shadow stones come from? They would obviously come from the developer. That's basically using it as an advertising or marketing function. I heard that after the Diablo Immortal thing, Lost Art later jumped through a few hoops, and now it's planned to release in the Netherlands. Like, see, like this is what I'm saying. Like, I thought 1 second we're talking about like fully illegal games, and the next second the things that were illegal are now being legalized or allowed. The game isn't meant for you to earn like a job. It's an option for you to sell your items if you don't want them anymore. I agree completely. I completely agree. I do still think that the future of gaming will help. The future of crypto gaming, Web3 gaming, will push that definition of earning as a job further. To what degree, who knows? Using a scroll, let's see. That's what Blizzard's games was so bad in its monetization that it made games like Lost Ark and Genshin Impact look good in comparison. So like, I don't think, I mean, I get your perspective. I get it completely. I think that Lost Ark and Genshin Impact were already a certain level of good, regardless of the other game coming out. It just gives people a better perspective to understand what level of good. Will we better learn how to do before the government defines it? Like, I mean, yeah, that's the whole point. I agree. Just because there's no line in the sand doesn't mean that people aren't eventually going to say fuck it and draw one. Exactly. That's exactly it. But the whole point is the conversation of there has to be a conversation about where the line is, and so that we can draw it. We need to draw it. There needs to be a line. Because if we don't draw that line, then any scam can happen. And at least with a line, and we can move the line later on, we can change the rules, we can change the laws, but there needs to be a line. You know what I mean? I mean, how can you sell blockchain items in the market if the game was not giving you some advantage with that item? I mean, people are already buying party hats that only give you cosmetic looks. Yeah, see, Ghost Card, only cosmetic can do that. Exactly. But like, cosmetics can now be NFTs, can now be blockchain items. You know what I mean? You could also make cosmetics versions of weapons that provide you the same utility as the other ones, but are not like golden or glowy or whatever. That's why I consider NFT games to be pay to win by definition. I think some pay to win games are. I think some NFT games are pay to win. I don't think all NFT games are pay to win. Lost Relics is releasing in others because they scrapped the plans for loot boxes. They didn't jump through hoops. So, but like the point is that like they're still releasing in the Netherlands. So I guess maybe I didn't follow you earlier. The game isn't meant for you to earn like a job. The option you for sell your items. It's becoming illegal in more and more places. Predatory pay to win and gambling practices. So like you can't buy loot boxes anymore in Diablo. So how is the game going to monetize? I don't know. I haven't followed this. So how is the game going to monetize? And like that monetization, I bet you we can have a good argument about is that pay to win or not. And it's still going to be releasing in the Netherlands. Besides fully cosmetic games. That's what I meant by jumping through hoops. They had to do it with the government wanting to release there. Cosmetics don't give advantages. They're not pay to win if they're just skins. Besides fully cosmetic games. I literally... Oh, my bad. So you said besides NFT games with purely cosmetic that you don't think that they're pay to win. Or no, you think that they're all pay to win. I just don't feel comfortable saying that something is... I don't feel comfortable to say something is all one thing or all another thing. But that's just me on my end. They'll sell items individually, most likely. Cosmetics, memberships, etc. Lost Ark had never done loot boxes. They just plan to release them. Wait a minute. Are we talking about Lost Ark, or are we talking about Diablo Immortal? Most games that release in these countries make a version without loot boxes that you have to pay for each item priced by rarity. So like, yeah, so like money's still going to the game for the same items. So they removed the thing that was illegal. Now it's legal, and now we can still have the conversation about whether it's pay to win. Wait, so is the Mari shop okay? I do not know that answer because that's a game that I have not played too much. Okay, my bad. Let's continue with the video. Oh, hold on. Ghostcar says, big time onlys have cosmetics as NFT, but the problem with that is the price of the items going down a lot because not everyone care about cosmetics. Well, see, that's the question. That's the real big question. I hold space in big time also. Like, that's the real question, which is what do gamers value? Because the whole traditional gamers are saying cosmetic only, no pay to win features, no advantage on anything. We're willing to pay for that. And then crypto gaming is saying, fuck it, make everything be able to be sold and be on the blockchain. And then there's all the lines in between, because so my question really is like, is big time right? Like, that's the reason why I got into big time, because they're one of the few blockchain games that are doing this whole cosmetic only, not like trying to remove all pay to win features. I did it again. I went into the wrong one. I hope this doesn't, I do get abandoned, so it shouldn't take any energy from me. Legendary mines, fire strikes. Okay. Don BJ says, because it doesn't have the same degree of predatory mental manipulation aspect without the gambling aspect of loot boxes. Yeah, so again, yeah, I agree. Like, so from a legal standpoint, because it doesn't have those things, no issue launching anymore. It can launch, but like that still really doesn't solve the thing about like, are there pay to win mechanics? You know what I mean? And is pay to win inherently what do you call it, manipulative or whatnot? Like, there are plenty of things that are illegal that are also, I mean, I'm sorry, the other way around. There are plenty of things that are legal that are all, morally questionable. Pay to win is generally regarded as a necessary evil to support the free-to-play model. I mean, I don't think so. I think there's plenty other ways to monetize. I think there's plenty of other ways to monetize that don't involve an advantage in the game. I think that allowing players to spend in games and in real world, in digital economies, is what helped pay to win become more of a thing and will help pay to win grow more. But I don't think that it is like, I don't think that it is I don't think it derives solely from that aspect. That's why people are generally okay with it. Or Apex Legends. Hey, Mitch, what's going on? Yield Squad is in the house. None of those are MMORPGs. So now we're talking about that pay to win can exist in some genres, but not in other genres? Like, this is just going back to my whole thing about, like, what the hell is really pay to win? From my perspective, pay to win exists anytime you get an inherent advantage over other players in the game. Paying a membership, buying a Lost Relics membership pendant to be able to get into harder dungeons isn't a pay-to-win feature to me. Maybe it is to you, and maybe you have your own other definition. But my whole point is that these are the definitions. These are the things that we don't even know how to define because we're having open arguments about what it means. So then how do we create rules and laws around them? It's a legit question. I don't know how to do these. I don't know if anybody knows how to do these things. But we need to have these conversations at the higher levels because these are the things that are going to become more and more and more important as the gaming industry evolves, especially with NFTs and crypto. Since I don't run this dungeon a lot, I need to pay attention a little bit more. But I'll check on your comments right now. Let's see. They're persistent action RPGs. Sales Yield Squad. Are you mad about? What are you mad about? I don't know. We're talking about Lost Ark. Yeah. Also, why is some mid-tier NFT guild trying to mount options? What are you talking? Dude, like, no need for that. We don't need none of that. But the whole point is that people have different opinions. Like, that's the whole point I've been trying to have here, is bring up, is that, like, because we have such varying opinions, this is going to take a lot of damage on me because I was not doing that smart. Because people have so many different, I mean, look, one of two things is going to happen. People are going to continue to experiment with them, and the market will decide. The more players will choose to play one game or choose to play another game, or maybe they just choose. I mean, I don't know. Whatever the players choose is what's going to be the future of games. Can we all agree on that? Ah, I did it again, like a noob. I mean, I have more than enough healing, so it should be fine. Let's see. I don't consider play to win to be intrinsically bad, so you can calm down. Yeah, I mean, I think that there is some that is bad and some that is not bad. Yeah, for sure. I'm not just responding. Yeah. All right, so let's continue the video here and see where we go from here.
Ships all smashing around each other, special effects absolutely amazing, cannonballs flying, splinters of wood. And I didn't really feel anything. Visually beautiful, emotionally vapid.
Yeah.
First film, there's a fight in the blacksmith's shop between Will Turner and Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
And there's not even that many actual blows exchanged with the swords. There's even a bit where they step, and he goes...
Like round the pole.
Yeah, he says, if I step here, and the other one goes, I step here. And he goes, good, I see you know what you're doing. That was two characters interacting, and we got to know them, and we got to get involved with them. And that scene to me, that fight scene to me, is art.
Yeah.
Because it's not about...
One of the best fight scenes with the least amount of fighting in it. It was really good.
I mean, I find business art
fantastic.
Like,
in fact, if I watched a scene on YouTube yesterday, if you want to see what an absolutely brutal fight scene looks like, there's a film called, I think it's called Nobody.
Okay.
And there's a fight on a bus. I don't know if anyone in the chat here has...
It rings a bell.
Oh my god, that fight on a bus. That is how you do a fight scene. That is insane. I had to rewind and watch that scene again. I'm like, that is incredible. Very simple, very basic, but just super
I mean,
brutal.
what he's talking about here, about here is passion. He's talking about passion, and that's good. Like, we need more passion in video games. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. The only point that I try to make is that there's also passion to the aspects of crypto and NFTs that can be brought forward in games. You know, the way he talks about, oh my God, that was such a fight. Like, I just came from a show, like, you know, the sports cards show, like I was telling you all, where, like, after the show, we went to go eat, and I was talking with the other vendors and being, literally the conversation was the same. We were saying, "Oh my God, that sale I made today, or that trade I made today, or like, I can't believe I did this or I did that." That's passion too. It exists for both. You see what I'm saying? If League of Legends skins were NFTs, I wouldn't sell most of them because I bought it to enjoy more of the game. But League is a very fun game. It was not a development primary for the idea of making money. Making you money by playing. That's why I think gameplay should be the primary thing in blockchain games. Yeah, I mean, fair statement. I think that I think you would also say that a fair statement is that for some people are playing League of Legends for money, and that will continue to happen and continue to grow, and that's okay for them to have fun doing that too. You see what I'm saying? Like, as a matter of fact, I think esports in general, being led by League of Legends and other games like it, like, I think that is something that I think would be hugely beneficial for the video game industry as it progresses out into the future. And early games obviously haven't helped this. Yeah, so yeah, you're right. Early games haven't helped this. Maybe when it comes to like early game development, when it comes to blockchain games, maybe I just didn't understand the way that the general gamer would think about the topic. The way I've always seen it is that I'm investing or I'm purchasing into a game to have early access as it's being built out, not guaranteed of anything. I've always felt that, but most players don't. I guess most people don't. When they buy that Founders NFT, they think that when the game launches, it's going to be. They think that when the game launches after 3 months of development, that the game is going to be fully functional and built out with no bugs. I think that's what most people think, to be quite honest. And obviously that's not the case. And now people had to. I mean, I had thought that we had learned this lesson when Kickstarter and you know, the GoFundMe's and all that were taking off for video games, like in the early or the late 2000s. Like, I thought we learned that lesson, but apparently not. Game first, finance second. What happens if the game... with these games, not all of them. I mean, the games that I think are going to be the most successful are the ones that are game and finance at the same time. Because I think that the one thing that crypto brings to this new genre of video games is the ability to have real world economies inside these digital lands, these digital spaces. That is the extra value that Web3 games have that traditional games don't. And the only way that gets built out is if you roll in game development with the development of an economy at the same time. Not one before the other. Which makes it even harder to make these games, because other games don't have to do that. But without risk, there is no reward. Product needs to be quality to sustain. Gamers play games, accountants play finance. I mean, everybody balances their own checkbook. So by that notion, everybody's an accountant. You know? Everybody's constantly understanding, like, are you getting paid enough to pay your bills? Like, you gotta live, you gotta put food on the table, you gotta eat. Everybody's dealing with money all the time. Now, accountants specialize in it, but everybody deals with it all the time. Same thing with gamers. Gamers are already doing it. You're just doing it with XP and gold. You're doing it right now. And you've been doing it for years. Economics doesn't apply to money. Economics of value applies to the not translation. What's the word I'm looking for? To the transfer of value around a system. What that value is can be whatever you think it is. It could be money. It could be cosmetics. It could be labor. It could be financial assets. It could be anything.
Massive films like, The Avengers, that are beautiful, but I don't necessarily feel anything about them.
Yeah, in fact, I had this kind of revelation the other day when I was watching the Halo TV series. Now, a lot of people are criticising the CGI or criticising that X doesn't look like Y or Z was different in the books. But one thing I've got to give them props for is the character building and the interaction between characters. They've nailed.
Okay.
Yeah, hey, I think the Halo Infinite series or the Halo series was amazing. I think they did a beautiful job.
It doesn't feel off.
Could they have done better? Sure. There's plenty of things that they could do better. But considering everything, I think it was I would recommend it. I would put it out there. I enjoyed it thoroughly, and and I saw the art in it. I'm just here listening to Stryker and nodding nonstop about it with his opinions. I mean, the funny thing is, like, a lot of my opinions are wrong. And I just want to be around when we actually get to find out why they were wrong. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, they've taken some artistic liberties with the interactions because it's a different medium, right? It's not a game, it's a film.
Exactly.
So that really does make or break something like that. And you can tell that they went into this with the passion of making something that's going to be enjoyable to watch, a fun story to follow, and they've nailed both of that. They really have.
To bring this all back to the idea of MMORPGs feeling more like science than art, Deadpool. You've seen the film Deadpool. You haven't seen Deadpool? Okay, brilliant.
I
film.
did, but I was very drunk around a friend's house.
They basically.
I'm not a
gave
big
the
movie
dude,
buff,
In fact,
so
no, it
this
wasn't Deadpool.
part of
it was,
the-
I'm thinking of Joker.
Part of the video's not playing to my
in
strong
Joker.
suit.
Right.
They gave Joker less and less and less and less and less budget. They basically wanted to make the film fail. They didn't think that a Batman extended universe would work. So every time they asked for more money for the Joker film, they just said no, and they got less and less and less and less and less. And eventually they sat down, the directors and the actors, and they said, look, we don't have enough money to make this a spectacle. We don't have enough money to make this Joker film a traditional superhero film. So what we need to do is make it a character film, an emotion character driven film about your history and your feelings and small encounters like fighting
a really
3
smart way
guys
to work within
on
the
a
budget.
subway instead of fighting 300 guys on a spaceship.
Exactly.
And Joker is one of the best films I've ever seen.
Actually, I haven't seen Joker.
Because,
Graphics will only do so much.
Yeah.
That goes for both films and games.
and I think that's because Joker is about art and less about spectacle.
Yeah.
Games are art, a passion project. It takes you on a journey. It's meant to immerse you in an alternate reality. That's why gamers play games. Yeah, I agree with you completely. I would push you even further, okay? If it's meant to be an alternative reality, and we constantly hear the argument about, man, like that game is so badass. It'd be awesome to actually live in that world. It would be awesome to actually live in that world. I'll push it for you. If you actually lived in that world, what would you do? Versus playing the video game in the real world. If you actually lived in that world, you'd be doing whatever you could do to better equip your items, to be able to make sure that you have enough food to survive. You'd be taking real world elements and applying them into a digital world. The idea about being able to put food on the table, the idea about being able to enhance your profession, the idea about becoming a tradesman or a craft, honing a specific craft. All of these exist in the physical world. They'll exist in digital worlds too. You'll want to be the one that, hey, maybe I'm going to be the guy that makes all the badass potions, or maybe I'm going to be the guy that goes on adventure. Like, the motivations exist already for you to do things that you do in the physical world, and you are now going to have the ability to use those things in the digital world, in an alternative reality. You would be in town begging 24/7. Like, my point is that, like, we didn't get begging for food from video games. That existed already in human history, and you're taking that concept and putting it in the video game. You're taking something from the real world, from your real life, and putting it in the game. So if you actually had the tools to be able to do that, what are the things that you would put in? You would put in the things that help you earn a living. You would put in the things that helped, the hierarchy of needs. First thing is protection. I don't actually know it off the top of my head, but like, you would want to put something in where you can earn a living. You would want to put in something where you could actually, progress or create a career or like forward your ambitions. All those things exist, and now we have the tools to be able to put it in games and make it real. I mean, the thing is, it already is real. You know what I mean? Like,
Which MMORPG games now are putting art ahead of spectacle? Terra was a spectacle game, and it failed. Aeon is a spectacle game. They're just big, flashy, bright, and brilliant. Which MMOs put art first?
New World.
No, I'd say that New World was more of a spectacle thingy, because it was just, hey, let's make it as big as we possibly
they
can.
already
New World
disagree.
isn't emotionally
It's
connected to me
subjective,
at all.
guys.
No. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like, it was beautiful, but it was so bland.
Yeah.
The same goes for... Oh, what's it even called? The,
It's a good thing when you can't remember the name of it.
The space game, Star Citizen.
Okay.
Absolute spectacle graphically, right?
That's It's a
What
promise.
gameplay is
Okay, so I think we're pretty much going to call it there. They have just like 2 more minutes, I think, left on the video, and they're talking about areas that I really can't give feedback on. So, I mean, we got the point of it in general. Gave you guys my ideas and what we thought there. So, to wrap up the video, we are going to be opening some chests here. So, let's open up 6 bronzes, let's say 3 silvers, and 2 golds. And we'll spin the wheel. So should we spin the wheel first, or should we open the chests first? Hey, says Peaceful in chat. Hey, hey. Oops, that was okay. So, wheel first. I don't know. Kind of feeling wheel first. Oh, we got to dump everything actually in the inventory if we're gonna do the wheel. I think, right? You have to. Well, I think that should be enough. Well, that's not a lot. Yeah, wheel first. Wheel first. Everybody agrees. And by everybody I mean Ghost Car. All right, wheel first. Spin number 1. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Big money, no whammies. Big money, no whammies. Let's go, Queen's Misery. Gambling time. All right, let's see what we got here. I like how all of the oranges and... Oh, I'm on the other side. Damn, we got the fish. All right. All right. Not a fan of the fish. Anything but the fish. Okay, anything but the fish. Let's go. One more. No, we have one more spin after this. So let's see what we get here. Give it to me. All the oranges are together. Oh, oh, oh. It's going to give me the coal. All right, that's cool. I like the coal. I like the coal. Give me the coal. Go craft some more, baby. Let's go. I should probably be selling it, to be honest, but I'm using it to make some arrows. All right, so last spin of the day. Oh, man, it went from 500 epics to 50 common. At least do 500 common, bro. Like, all right, we got some arrows here. All right, so now for these. I said we were gonna do 6, 3, and 2. I think is what we said. I should probably only do 1, but we'll do 2. All right, here we go. Hoping for some blockchain items here, people. Let's see what we get. Number 1, Brown's Bounty chest. We got a vial. Number 2, Brown's Bounty chest. Another vial. Number 3, come on, baby, give me something. Give me something. Got a feather. Number 4. Oh, number 5. Train cosplay, shameless wheel. And number 6, last one of the bronzes. Hey, all right. Wait, I thought they were going for more. So they dropped in price, the Hellfires? I thought everybody loves these things. I still haven't used one that. All right, so now let's go over to the silvers. Let's see what we got on the silvers. Maybe we got 2. We got 2 Hellfires now. All right, let's see. What do we got? Kiku feathers. All right, and Goodman goggles. All right, nothing there. Let's hope that the gold gives me something. A lot of vials. A lot of vials. All right, let's put this away. Okay, last gold of the day. Maybe today's just not the day, boys. Maybe today's not the day, or maybe it is. Goodman goggles again. All right. Oh, wait, did I finish anything? Oh, no, I still have to do this one. Cook 4 meals for bowstrings. Okay, well, I could use the fish we got earlier. Unfortunately, no luck today, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is what it is. But I am going to go get some dinner, and I'm going to take a little break, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. Let me see if anybody's streaming really quick so that I can do a quick raid. Let's see if anybody is streaming. Some Lost Relics. Lost Relics. Here we go. I'm the only streamer. Well, that's unfortunate. It is what it is. Necro, Ghost Car, Don BJ, Moko Candy, yeah. Moko Candy, Yield Squad. Who else we got in here? Kennedy. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I hope you guys